Oh fuck! I have not made a video in ages. Oh well, this is different. Oh wait, I get it. We're doing like the whole ooh, empty void video cliche thing, right? Okay, I'll make a note of that when I get back. Somehow.
Who's screwing around down there?
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Lies! I am the great hiatus, and I see you for what you are. A slacker.
Oh, don't be stupid. No one makes videos in January.
It's March.
Oh no.
Tell you what, if you play a game for me, I'll let you go.
Ha! Easy. Piece of ham. Despite having not reviewed a game since October.
And you have to follow this up with a story arc.
Specific, but fair. Alright, well then, bring it on. I mean, as long as it's not Mario Pinball Land, I think we'll be fine.
Marvel is everywhere nowadays with the huge Avengers film franchise, X-Men, and Spider-Man. But one Marvel series I've never liked is the
Fantastic Four!
They've just never been good in anything. 3 films, all crap. They're in like 1 episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Marvel even discontinued the comics out of spite. So what about video games? Well, the game in question today is the adaptation of their second film. On the Wii. Oh, I wish I was dead. So, before we even start the game, the splash screen caught my attention. Why is it so intense? Why is it like that? Doesn't help it's followed by this lovely image. Ben, you doing alright there? You angry because someone stole your eyes? The game also has like 1 billion people working on it. Look how many logos there are. This many people wanted to be a part of
Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer!
For the Wii. Finally, after a menu worthy of an N64 game, we start the game where we see the
Fantastic Four!
who are apparently searching for a spike in cosmic energy.
I've tracked a large cosmic energy spike to these coordinates.
On first impressions, this isn't terrible. The characters look like the actors despite not being voiced by them. Yeah, I don't really know what I expected. In fact, Mr. Fantastic's voice actor looks permanently sad. I don't blame him really after being a part of this. But look at how stiff they are. They look more like the action figures for the film rather than the actual characters. We finally enter the game and okay, that's where the shit is. Okay.
Wait, the cutscenes didn't look this bad. Why does the game as a whole look so horrendous?
That was an FMV cutscene.
That was FMV. Can I hang myself with this?
Also, I hope you enjoyed that cutscene because the game doesn't really do cutscenes. Instead, we get text boxes that pop up with character heads that wouldn't look out of place in Sims 2. Especially Johnny. So, how does this game play then? Well, it's a team-based beat 'em up where you can switch between the
Fantastic Four!
on the fly and use their unique abilities to fight through hordes of enemies. Now, that may sound like fun. It's not. Let's look at the controls. The Thing and Mr. Fantastic both require use of
Wiggle wham wham waggle!
Oh wait, I apologize.
Wiggle wham wham waggle!
and when you're not waggling the controls around like a madman, you're just mashing buttons with no sense of anything really. There are combos you can pull off with certain button combinations, but those combinations still require button mashing. It's button mashing on top of button mashing with waggle controls thrown in.
Holy shit!
This is also why I use the Human Torch the most. He barely uses the motion controls and simply requires tapping A lot. What about the Invisible Woman? I don't fucking know. She's a terrible fighter, and since it's a game all about combat, I'm just gonna pretend she doesn't exist. Even more because it's Jessica Alba and her acting talent is also invisible. So, as the team continues through the lab, cave, place, fucking what? They start encountering certain enemies that act as nothing but cannon fodder. I mean, who are these enemies anyway?
If you want to fight the scroll.
The scroll. The fucking scroll, just go.
Yep, the Skrull. Classic Marvel villains are in this game, based on the film. in which there are no Skrull. Although saying that, if they're basing this more on comics than the film, that means we might get the real Galactus and not a cloud. Why? Okay, now these levels are starting to drag. They go on for like half an hour each. That's one hell of a commitment for a fantastic snore game.
I have a wedding to plan, remember?
Oh yeah, because an underground lab in a cave is the best place to discuss wedding planning. The team make it through the factory where they meet the ringleader, the Super Skrull.
The intruders have come too far. Kill them.
Who sounds like the Cave of Wonders?
Okay, now, at this point, the game can't be taking itself too seriously. That's some Black Doom edgy voice shit right there, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I stopped giving a fuck a long time ago, and now the game doesn't care anymore.
Every day when you're walking down the street.
This is gameplay. Yeah. Yes, gameplay.
Okay, I'm beyond bored.
You and me both! Also, I just found a map button. Look at all them straight lines. The team chased down Super Skrull for a boss fight that Johnny makes really short work of. Oh, and I use the term boss fight very loosely. Just pummel the shit out of them and eventually you'll whittle their health down. I mean, there's no strategy in the game with wiggle wham wham waggle. I guess the waggling goes with his bobble head. After 3 fights with Super Skrull, he's finally put down and magically a map conveniently appears. The map leads to Tibet and the team takes the fantastic and oh my god. Oh my god, it can't be. Level variety, different environments, actual puzzles. Oh my god. Oh, shame it still sucks.
I'm just sorry I made such a fuss about our wedding.
Oh, shut the fuck up about the fucking wedding. Oh my. With the Skrull now vanquished, the team are faced with weird rock monsters that actually put up a fight, unlike the paper people before them.
We're alone. Where'd everybody go?
They're all dead, Ben. You killed them. All of them. Not just the men, but the women and the children too. I thought you were ever-loving and blue-eyed, but now I see you for the monster you are! Mostly because you look like shit.
As they enter the crystal caves, I'm noticing that the level design is becoming much more open. While there are still loads of really long hallways, there is now more opportunity to deviate off the main path. Except there's no reason. All you can find are coins to buy more costumes with, but I don't give a fuck. So, what is accomplished by all this spelunking? Well, the fantastic floor! Meet an alien called Terrax. Who is Terrax? I am also to believe that Terrax was just sitting here waiting for the fantastic chore this entire time. Now that's patience. He warns the team about the oncoming assault of Galactus and prepares to fight them. Kind of redundant if he's so smug about Galactus coming. Just like the previous boss, you take Terrax down by mashing buttons. Yeah, none of the bosses have your so-called strategy. I mean, what did you expect from this game? Competence and effort? To be fair, the boss is worth it just for what Terrax does next.
He just runs away like a baby. Also, that's the last time you see him in this game. Some say he's still running to this day, only occasionally stopping to get some Gatorade and have a lollipop.
You think this Galactus is real, Reed?
Back to the Fantasticar.
How much do I have to pay you so you never say that again?
According to the Pentagon, this mecha base went offline after taking a prisoner.
Which could be this alien herald fella Norin.
Wait, you're going into a high security prison based on a could and a maybe. Well, nothing can go wrong with at 209s.
Don't touch him!
Well, I hope you're ready for about 4 levels worth of secret labs. Again, combine the aesthetics of the earlier levels with the layout of the mines and you get the idea. Wandering around aimlessly and walking past enemies because I don't have the patience for that nonsense. However, the best part of this level is that Reed can activate these little robots that will join your party. Aw, I got my little robot buddy. Yay! Shame I have no idea where to go. Fuck, I got nothing. Wait. Was that tiny thing I needed hidden behind a wall and the same color as the ground?
All is lost.
As the team dive further and further into the facility, they eventually see... I will remember you. I cared about one thing, and you took it away from me. And how long is this fucking level? So Dr. Doom finally makes an appearance as a still image.
I knew the army would send someone, Reed, but I didn't dare hope it would be you.
And that is not the voice I imagined coming out of Doom. Oh, I know he's based on the film version, but that is what we call miscasting.
Self-destruct in 30 minutes.
30 minutes is a very long time for a self-destruct, but wait, half an hour to beat a level in this game? Oh, we're fucked! Even worse is that the game doesn't give you any prompts or reminders about where to go, so you just find yourself going in circles. The one level with a timer, and I'm fucking lost! Also, the combination of eerie music and no sound makes the whole thing kind of creepy. Wait. Oh, can it be? Oh my god! 10 levels in, and we finally meet the Silver Surfer. Even the soundtrack is like, oh shit, there actually is a Silver Surfer. You know shit is about to go down when you get another CGI cutscene, or I guess just a regular cutscene, since these don't really count as cutscenes.
Whatever the betrayer is planning, he will fail.
You want to speak up, Surfer? I can't hear you over the fucking fantastic car.
What almost hit us?
A blast of pure power cosmic.
Surfer sounds more bored than mystical. I mean, I can relate. Although I can't relate to the fact that he was voiced by Lawrence Fishburne in the film. That is the voice of a god. But here...
Whoa, wait. Go back. Product placement. Product placement?
I have a dodge.
And I have a shut the fuck up!
I will give the cutscene credit for Reed being more concerned about scratches on the car than the giant fireball.
My thinking is, if we find that cannon, we find Doom.
Galactus is close. I can feel him.
I feel it in my finger.
You right there, Doom? Just going for a little joyride there?
Hey there, Doomy boy. Flying through the sky so fancy-free. So yup, this is probably the only level in the game that even comes close to something in the film. Yeah, I wish I was making this up, but sadly the movie studio was like, yep, this looks fine. Oh, and that looks fine too. Fire? No fire. Fire? No fire. Fire? Actually, on closer inspection, Doom looks like shit. Well, at least the game is consistent. But now, Doom, away!
Quickly, our time is short.
Well, maybe our time wouldn't be short if you guys hadn't dicked around with Terex and the Skrull. The final level gives us...
You know, I should be really happy about that. Over the moon, the game has died, but I've put so much time into this, I want to finish what I started.
Sorry. Let me just... The system here is a lot like a servant. You sometimes have to hit it to make it work.
Dude.
The final level gives us one more boss fight against Dr. Doom. How do you beat Doom? Go on. No, really, guess. You button mash with no strategy. I don't know what's more impressive, Doom surviving that with a weird new arm thing, or that he has to swap sides just to talk. Is Doom that lonely that he literally talks to himself? Doom's fight has different phases which act more like cosmetic changes since tactics don't really change. What little there were. The last phase is...
Ah, Christ, don't show me addictive on Doom. Ah.
Finally, Doom is defeated and blue, for some reason, as the power of the board splits the room open, dropping Doom into lava.
Will you remember me?
Okay, you know what? Point to the game, since in the film he's taken out like a little bitch. The Silver Surfer goes off to face Galactus while the team discuss their next plan.
We should get married today, Sue. Right now.
Do you know how long that takes? You can't just do it in a day. You've got to get a freaking musician, you've got to let the caterer know, you got to tell the florist that the freaking boutonnieres clash with the cummerbunds. I'm quitting this business.
I'm wondering how you're getting home. Later, big guy.
You little son of a...
Hello? Is that it? Are you fucking kidding me? We don't even get to see Galactus. Even in the film he was there, sure he was a fucking cloud for some reason, but I'd hope for something. Even the Lego game had him as the final boss. All we get is... Oh, this whole game was a fantastic chore! Again, I ran out of puns.
Well, there you have it. The worst game I've ever looked at. And now, hiatus, you will relieve me of this purgatory state, or I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves! Be gone from me, vile game, be gone from me! I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
The door's just over there.
Oh, well, I mean, that kills the immersion, but... Fuck!
Oh ho 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 ho. Oh, after what feels like years of anticipation, Yooka-Laylee is finally out. The game comes from the minds behind the original Banjo-Kazooie, now under the name Playtonic, and are back to see if they can revive the 3D collectathon platformer genre. So with the success of the Kickstarter, which I backed because my love of Banjo-Kazooie knows no bounds, did Playtonic succeed? I think they have to, or else the genre's a bit screwed. Literally from the moment the game starts, I'm already won over. The menu is just like Banjo-Kazooie's, with each game file being the protagonists, Yooka and Laylee, doing different stuff. I mean, look at Yooka spin. Oh, he's adorable. As we start the game, we see the main villain Capital B and his henchman Dr. Quack, who are about to activate their big plan. And what is that I hear? Oh yes, these voices are perfect, right, Roger? Right! World 4 better have a golf course or else I will stop being so polite. So, their plan involves a machine called the Novelizer 64, love it, which sucks up every book in the land, one of which happens to belong to our titular duo, Yooka and Laylee. Right off the bat, we're straight into gameplay. No loading screens or anything. That's impressive. And, oh, this game controls like a dream. Yooka's movement feels really natural and the jumping feels oh so very precise. With all the insane platforming ahead, this is a great sign. Also, another great sign is just how charming the game is. First things first, we meet Trouser. A trouser snake. Lock up your daughters, Playtonic's on the prowl again! Who teaches the duo their very first move, which is the simple spin attack. And now that we've heard more characters, I have to reiterate that I love these voices, especially Trouser. Yeah, that sassy snaky tone. Now one would fear that this is just a hand-holding tutorial, but nope. If you know what you're doing, you can blitz through and the game doesn't punish you for doing so. This is the kind of thing I've been craving. No bullshit, just straight to it. And speaking of straight to it, here's the main hub world, Ivory Towers, and god, this music is fantastic. And yeah, it's called Ivory Towers. Oh, that rareware wit is back in full bloom. So many puns. Ivory Towers, the Archive, Isometric Palace, Batship Crazy. It is here that we're introduced to the Pages, which act like the Jiggies or stars that allow access to the many worlds in this game. First up is Tribal Stack Tropics and... It's beautiful. Really. This is what I've wanted for so goddamn long. A vibrant world full of fun characters. Lots of places to go with many missions to complete in order to progress that make use of all the moves I've gathered. It's perfect. It's like I'm a kid again. As you explore, you start to realize that this game is very similar to Banjo-Kazooie. Trouser acts like Bottles, who teaches the duo new moves, and Dr. Puzz, who fills in for Mumbo and transforms our duo into all sorts of crazy things. Dr. Puzz? What kind of name is that? You think they'd be like a pun or something like... Wait. Dr. Puzz. Dr. Puss. Dr. Puss. Octopus. Ugh. And yeah, even I'll admit the transformations don't serve that much purpose. The only one that really stuck out was World 5, as it's used to get more than just one pagey. You need it to traverse a lot of that level. Here though, you're a flower. Yeah, because that's what all gamers want to be. Capital B. Hey look, a random skeleton girl. Hey Roger, are you related to... Roger? Hey Roger, you missed your cue! Going into Yooka-Laylee, I had two big worries. One was that the world looked pretty empty, and the other was that the music wouldn't be as catchy or iconic as Banjo-Kazooie's soundtrack. Let's start with the music, because I was wrong. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I already mentioned Ivory Towers, which is classic Grant Kirkhope goodness, but the further into the game you go, the better it gets. The boss music, the minecart levels, the worlds themselves. Grant Kirkhope, David Wise, and Steve Burke put their all into it, and dear God did it pay off. I guess the reason Banjo-Kazooie's music is ingrained in my head is because I've been playing that for 20 years and Yooka-Laylee for about a week. Even then I found myself humming the themes for World 1 and 2 every now and then. Okay, so what about the worlds being too empty then? Because you know, Banjo-Tooie had that problem, Nuts and Bolts had that problem, but does Yooka-Laylee have that problem? No. Certain levels such as Capital Casino or Galleon Galaxy didn't impress me at first. Capital Casino was kind of hard to navigate and Galleon Galaxy was just barren. However, that's where the game's gimmick comes in. Rather than having loads of worlds to explore, Playtonic instead went for quality over quantity and had you expand worlds instead. It is these expansions that really bring these worlds to life. Galleon Galaxy went on to be my favourite level because of how much there was to do. And of course, Tribal Stack Tropics expansion gives us a shoveled knight! So, to travel to the next world, you need to progress through Ivory Towers using your newly acquired skills to get past puzzles. I really think this is a great way to make players progress. It harkens back to Grunty's Lair, which implemented the very same idea. This means you can truly play the game how you want. You can just grab all the quills to buy new moves and move on, or you can stay in the world for ages and focus on grabbing pages so you can actually afford these new worlds. You can even choose what moves you learn in any order, truly adding to the customizable playstyle. Occasionally, as you travel through the tower, you'll encounter Dr. Quack, who makes you play through a quiz. I've heard people say they hate these bits, but I really don't see what the problem is. If you answer these questions quickly, you can skip like half of them, and there's only 3 quizzes in the game, so that's like 15 questions max. And also, it encourages players to really pay attention and engross themselves in the worlds. Yeah, how dare Playtonic make us pay attention and then enjoy ourselves at our own pace. What a bunch of wankers, am I right? That guy gets it. The next level is Glitter Glaze Glacier, which brings back fond memories of Freezeezy Peak, complete with Ice Key. Yeah, let's pretend that was his true purpose and not freaking car parts. This is the first level that truly made me appreciate how cohesive the worlds are. At first you feel a little bit disorientated, but then you slowly learn that the world is connected together with set pieces and platforms that bring it all together. This level also gives us the aforementioned Isometric Palace, which is exactly that. Isometric. This is a gauntlet of puzzles ranging from platforming, simple logic, and making use of Yooka and Laylee's abilities. It's genuinely a fun time and also a good place to grind for pages. And of course it wouldn't be a Banjo-Kazooie inspired game without exploring something's in it. That really shouldn't be a thing, but I'm so glad it's a thing. Call me weird. Also, that snowman has a leaf over his crotch. Just thought that was worth pointing out. The next world was actually the most surprising to me, and this is Moony Maze Marsh. Bubblegloop Swamp was actually my least favourite level in the original Banjo-Kazooie, so hearing that we got another swamp level didn't exactly please me too much. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. It's made up of so many different little areas to explore and some really bizarre NPCs like this shopping trolley. Don't ask questions. That and the music reminded me of Conker's Bad Fur Day of all things. Also, Yooka and Laylee's piranha transformation is weirdly adorable. Just look at his little faces. While exploring this level, I noticed that Yooka and Laylee actually feel really different from Banjo-Kazooie, which I think is a great thing. We didn't literally just want Banjo-Kazooie with a new skin, we wanted something inspired by Banjo-Kazooie. Kazooie was the one who did most of the work before, but now Yooka does just as much as Laylee. The two really work well together and their moves complement their designs and character. Yeah, it's like if I use my hair as a shield or Roger uses dismembered leg as a weapon. He's still in there, isn't he? Christ. On to the next world with Capital Casino, which I'll admit I was the most fearful of. Instead of being given pages, you are instead rewarded with tokens that you trade at the booth, which is run by... That is bloody hilarious. Having the main villain just sit there in the level the entire time, I don't know why, but that really amuses me. Probably because of the idea that he's giving you the pages he needs just because it's fair is ridiculous. and I love it. It's things like this that make me love the game. The charm, the tone, and the jokes in general have me laughing the entire time. Also answering the real important question, is there a golf course in this world? Yes. Yes, there is. The final world is Galleon Galaxy, which combines seafaring with space travel and is just a delight. This level has some of the best NPCs, such as these frog guys that I think might be very, very loosely based on Battletoads. This alien girl who wants me to storm this space base. I mean, sure, if you want me to, I'll just, just hit this button and... Oh. And Shovel Knight's back again. He's always welcome. And there's a guy who's stuck on the toilet. It's like it's 1998 all over again. I should just put that out of his misery. Oh, I shouldn't have done that! Well, there's a nice segue into the bosses of Yooka-Laylee. There is a great variety of them that make use of all the different mechanics. Platforming, minecarts, transformations, the works! The part I love most about them though is actually finding them. Most of them you'll accidentally stumble across with no idea you just caused a boss fight. They're contextual to the worlds and offer plenty of laughs. I mean, come on, one of the bosses looks like a Connect and is called Inept. Not bitter then, lads. And the best part of the bosses is that they're just so fun. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that a face on a wall would make for a fun boss. Little side note is that the World 3 boss is amazing. He's a Cockney Kraken who just wants to watch his soap operas. And he says this. Of course, where there are bosses, there is bound to be frustration. In fact, there's another complaint I've heard is that the game is too hard and frustrating at times. I believe there's a word for that. Now, what was that word? I believe it was something like challenge. You know what games were challenging? Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Donkey Kong 64? Oh, I'm sorry, did you want a game that you could just plow through with no effort? Oh, well, actually, I wanted a game that tested me. Something that smoothly gets harder and harder as the game goes on, with lots of moments where I may slip up, but learn from my mistakes. I want that one more time, I got this feeling. That perfect angry zone where you have that feeling of determination and perseverance that makes you want to push on. I haven't felt that perfect balance in a long, long time. I certainly got that feeling with Inept, because he's so goddamn hard and keeps throwing crap at you and doesn't let up, and he has like 3 phases and is already following a really hard minigame. We have to get 150 gems, I was like 151, and goddamn it, next time, bitch! But it's important to get to that point where the player shouldn't want to rage quit, and I never did. Sure, things like the Kartos minigames might be tricky, but once you get a grasp of the mechanics and really get into the zone, that point where you beat those moments is glorious. Well, that's all the levels covered, so let's take a look at some of the end game stuff and the story stuff. So I guess, spoiler warning, but it's Yooka-Laylee, guys, come on. So, as the game progresses, we learn that Capital B isn't actually the man in charge. Would that make them Capital A, or how's that work? And Yooka and Laylee storm his office. After collecting 100 pages. Yes! I was hoping for that! You have to earn the privilege to face the final boss after hours of playtime. You can't just rush through it and waste the experience, you have to savor it. Oh, thank you, Platonic. Of course, now I have 100 pages, let's finally face Capital B. I will say this right away though, the grunty fight from Banjo-Kazooie is better. But anyway, it's time to finally beat this game. I'm not sorry. Capital B has different phases and all of them make use of the duo's abilities, such as Laylee's sound shield and Yuka's shooting ability. The latter part though, my god does this drag. Just shooting, still shooting, always shooting, keep shooting. Am I doing something wrong? Is this, oh, there we go. Also, I fought Grunty on like, the roof of her castle and it was grand, it was epic. It's just a random room. Okay, there it is, now it's the final boss. Because he's a bee. And dear god is this next part tough. After avoiding Capital B's simple slamming moves, he starts firing these missiles that home in on you and you have to fly around so they hit Capital B instead. This means you have to balance your energy bar since there's no butterflies to replenish it. You'll have to wait for it to refill all while Capital B just keeps on attacking. Ultimately though, you defeat him and then we get the ending. Yup, turns out Capital B was just doing his job while Quack monitored him. Are we doing some kind of sequel hook here? What is this? What's going on? However, they're taken out by a cannonball and Yooka and Laylee return home with the book and yes! 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 It's not a Rareware-inspired game without a party full of NPCs. The characters can now live in peace, the credits roll, and I'm left here with a big smile on my face. I mean this sincerely, it is really nice seeing these names together again. And at the end of all of this, there's me. There's my name. I did it, Ma. I made it. And so did Beckett from Pirates of the Caribbean, apparently. And that, as they say in the Ed Biz, is Yooka-Laylee. So, where does Yooka-Laylee fall then? I'ma show you. You impatient twat. Yup! To me, Yooka-Laylee is the closest thing we're gonna get to Banjo 3. It's a fun, cohesive platformer full of great charm, music, characters, worlds, it's everything. It really captures that old Rareware feeling I haven't felt in years. It was worth the wait. I anticipate whatever Platonic has next up their sleeves. Which I really hope is a kart racer, honestly. Now though, I've got a taste of that retro goodness. So, I'm gonna go hit an arcade. You'll get him next time, bud. Damn this game. As you can see, arcade games are still relevant in this year of 2017. Now I've dated this video and someone from 2031 is going to comment about how arcade games were outlawed after the War of 2022, which saw them used as weapons. But I digress. One of the kings of the arcades throughout the 90s was Sega, and that's why today we're looking at some of the Sonic the Hedgehog games developed for arcades. Mostly exclusive to Japan, but at this point I've come to accept that. Starting off with the most famous one, Sonic the Fighters. Easily the most accessible and well known for being downloadable on modern consoles, as well as being part of the Sonic Gems collection. Kind of a redundant name since none of these are really gems. Well, except maybe Vector Man, which I thought at the time was going to be a game where Vector was a superhero. The game begins with Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Robotnik? Robotnik? Planning his revenge upon his new Death Egg. Sonic and Tails see this and decide to take their rocket to face Robotnik. Except there's only one seat and requires all 8 Chaos Emeralds to work. Yeah, I said 8. So, I guess Tails still has the fake one? See, there were 9 emeralds, but... That's canon now? Now, it's a free-for-all with classic Sonic characters to get the chance to beat Robotnik. Yeah, hardly the height of storytelling, but this is a fighting game, so how's the gameplay? Basic? It makes you think it's a complicated fighting game with a huge list of combos with lots of button combinations to input, but really, if you just hammer the opponent with simple attacks, you'll be fine. Just keep on mashing A. Oh, it's Fantastic Four all over again. There's really not much strategy needed. Only one opponent needs strategy and, we'll get to him. This is already a really negative video. I've got to think more positively. Sorry. Firstly, I think the roster is pretty solid. You've got mainstays like Sonic, Tails, and Amy, fan favorites like Espio and... just Espio. Fang the Sniper from the classic Game Gear games, and winner of the Seriously Sega Where the Fuck Is This Character award. We have newcomers Bean the Dynamite and Bark the Polar Bear, 2 characters that never showed up again, but actually got fleshed out in the comics and are great fun. And of course, it wouldn't be a Sonic fighting game without Knuckles. Yeah, don't fuckles the echidna with Knuckles the echidna.
Oh no!
Also, guess what? This is a Sonic game, so could you actually imagine that? My god, the music is good? The main theme of the game is fittingly energetic. Each level gets its own theme with nice variety and different tones to capture the arena and the characters that reside there. And then there's Metal Sonic's theme, which is easily the best music in the game. I used that in my first video, ain't that something? Speaking of Metal Sonic, dear God, he's hard. Yeah, I mentioned he's the only fight you need strategy for because you have to dodge, roll, and get hits in quickly if you want to stand a chance. These combinations don't help either. I don't even have a K button. He's fast and ridiculously powerful, especially in the Gems Collection version. For some reason in the modern version, he's much easier. I guess modern gamers can't take the heat, am I right? Of course, there's the final battle between Robotnik himself and...
This is embarrassing!
And then the Death Egg 2 explodes, killing everyone on board.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
It's actually pretty cool to see all your victories play over the credits, especially if you finish off certain characters with their own weapons. Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering. Sonic the Fighters is simple. It's kind of fun to see Sonic characters beat the shit out of each other in fun combinations. Fights can range from this, to even this, and the character combinations are nice to mix around with. Sonic and Tails Civil War, anyone? Even if the comics beat me to it? And how about Knuckles and Amy fighting? Oh, yep. Also, I thought you didn't chuckle. Next in our lineup is Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Not just Sonic, Sega Sonic. And it's at this point I realized that all these games are Namco games. Oops. This is a much more conventional Sonic game, which sees Sonic captured by Eggman. Yes, Eggman, look, you even hear him say it. Eggman! And has to run, jump, and that's about it, really. Through Eggman's many tricks and traps. The twist here is that it's actually a co-op game with up to 3 players, but I'm a lonely sod, so I'm just stuck with me. You know, you've been filming my videos since Burnout. You want to play with me for once? Okay. In addition to Sonic, we have the option to play as Mighty the Armadillo, a character who would later appear in Knuckles' Chaotix. Yeah, I said Knuckles', I mean look, you can see a freaking apostrophe. And Ray the Flying Squirrel, who, outside of the duo being in the comics, is never seen again, lost in Sega's vault somewhere. But hey, a Sonic platform with multiple playable characters is fine by me, even if they do play identically and act more as cosmetic change. That and their screams are different, and boy do they scream a lot. The biggest flaw with Sega Sonic the Hedgehog is the controls. The gimmick on the arcade cabinet was that the game was controlled by a trackball rather than a joystick. This meant you had to roll the characters around rather than just point them in one direction. I'm sure back then it was fine, but I'm scum and use an emulator. And a keyboard. As a result, Sonic slips and slides. And for some segments, like the ending of Wild Water Way, it is absolute hell. Fuck. On the plus side, the game is oozing with charm and personality. The animation on the 3 heroes is really good and made to be really expressive. This is Mighty and Ray's only starring role, but you get their characters. Mighty's the tough red guy and Ray is the childlike yellow flying kid. Wait, as for the soundtrack, it's alright. Nothing that you'll remember instantly, but I guess it fits the levels. Speaking of levels, there's actually a good variety of fun levels to run through, ranging from lava-based, a tower full of traps, and a desert brimming with tornadoes and sinkholes. Of course, all these levels ultimately lead to Eggman's Tower, which is an enjoyable final level. What isn't enjoyable, though, is the confrontation with Eggman himself. You did it! You made it all the way to the final showdown, and there he is! Get ready for him to fucking book it! Yeah, the final showdown is just you running to the exit and that's it. No boss or showdown, just run! Doesn't help that the credits are filled with these really off images of Sonic, Ray, and Mighty. Christ, I've seen better on DeviantArt. I mean, much worse too, but some better. This is then followed by animation worthy of PowerPoint. Damn you! So, who's hungry? I'm sorry about this one. Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop. Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop. This is real. This exists. Released in arcades across Japan, this is literally a popcorn shop where you insert your money and choose what flavor you want. After that, Sonic talks to you, but I have no idea what he's saying for obvious reasons. I wish I could help you. What are you trying to say? And what's the best part about this? Why, you don't even have to press any buttons. You win no matter what you do. Which is actually fair enough. Imagine paying for popcorn but not getting it because you weren't good enough. The next stage sees Tails cooking the popcorn while Eggman gets burnt in the back. All of this as Sonic just stares at you. Always staring as Eggman burns. So at the end of all this, I get my popcorn, right? Well, Tails does. And the game just sort of stops. Okay, this is the real problem with emulators. Okay. Also, don't take drugs. The Blue Hedgehog said so. He also said don't climb into washing machines, which actually is very good advice. Do not do that. And that brings us to the last game of the day, Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car. I didn't name it. So what the hell is Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car? Well, it's a game which sees Sonic as a policeman officer, and takes to the street to fight crime. I have many questions, but I doubt there will be an equal amount of answers. Why is Sonic a police officer? Why does he need a car? Why isn't he solving actual crimes? Once again, it's in Japanese, so no help from Sonic. Presentation-wise, it's actually alright. Sprites are pleasing and the music is Green Hill Zone, so there's some familiarity. Also, I love Sonic's little hat. Look at him. What isn't so pleasing though is the bloody siren. Could you not? The point of this game is to defeat Eggman when he shows up joyriding. Couple of bounces to the head and he's done. So, what other adventures does Sonic go on? None. That's the game. Drive for a bit, stop at lights, scream at this dick for being in the wrong lane, and then fight Eggman. You don't even have to win. The game ends the same way no matter what you do, and I even got the same score both times. So what is the purpose of this game? It's barely even a game, honestly. It's more like an interactive movie.
Thank you!
Oh, that I understand!
Is this what my life has led to now? I'm not even looking at the good Sonic games or the bad ones, I'm just looking at the meh ones. Like, who cares about Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car? I need a change in my life. Change. Money. Banks have money. I'm gonna rob a bank.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in this stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Don't attempt to move or we'll be shooting ourselves.
Oh, that was a rush. So I got those crappy Sonic games out of my system.
And police have information suggesting his next target.
Oh, is that right? Am I really that predictable? I'll just go somewhere else, won't I? Because there's a whole planet to plunder and I don't even know where to start. Well, better consult the old globulator. It might be a little bit out of date. After breaking through the mighty complex bonds of DOSBox, Tom did it! We're presented with the game of the day, Mario is Missing. But oh, it's not just any Mario is missing. In order to learn about the entire globe, we're looking at the PC version released in 1992, which was amazingly a year before the Super Nintendo version that most of you would be used to. Right off the bat, we are taken to Antarctica, where Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi are— oh, Christ! Oh, heaven help me! What is that? Yoshi is high as balls. Mario's got the gait of a geriatric TV show host. And Luigi, oh, Luigi wants my soul. Anyway, the plot here is that Bowser, now residing in the South Pole, no idea, is threatening to melt the ice caps, dooming the penguins across the nation. Not the penguins! And it's worth noting that Mario and Luigi are talking, like actual words here. I choose to believe it's the cartoon voices. Hey Luigi, come on, we gotta go stop King Koopa. I don't know, Mario. We're just plumbers. We shouldn't meddle in world events, M. The fuck did you just call me? It says it up there! And after reaching the castle, Mario heroically enters, but not before Luigi leaves him some good advice. Don't take candy from strangers, Mario! Yeah, thanks, Luigi. Oh, hey, candy! And that's the plot. That's it. Mario and Luigi walking, Mario and Luigi talking, penguins, candy, Yoshi, Bowser. And now it's Luigi time, apparently. As we enter the hub level, we see the bosses, the Koopalings. Yay! And we enter the first world and learn the huge difference between this and the Super Nintendo version. Mario is missing on the PC is a point-and-click game. Okay, you know what? I actually quite like me a good point-and-click game, especially if I get to watch Luigi's walk cycle some more. The aim of the game is to explore each level, which represents a city somewhere in the world, hence the educational geographical side of the game. You'll find 3 Koopa Troopers with stolen artifacts that you must return and then leave triumphant. Well, that sounds delightful. A globe-trotting adventure with everyone's favourite plumber. Brother. Speaking of Luigi, let's just address him for a second, shall we? Other than his terrifying sprite, his very being perplexes me. His stomping around is bad enough, but if you talk to someone from far away, they'll stop in their tracks as Luigi marches towards them. That thing coming at you, of course you'd freeze in fear. And let's not forget his little camera now, shall we? He likes to watch. After exploring a bit, strolling about the town and talking with the locals, something hits you. It finally hits you. Like a boulder rolling off a cliff above your head. It hits you. This is the game. This is the entire game. Only 25 levels more to go. Oh, where's the white spirit? In the entire city, there are only like 4 people, all of which look the same in each city, by the way. Levels such as New York and London, only like 4 people. They can help you locate Koopa Troopers across the city. Koopa Troopers who happen to enjoy skateboarding, balloon rides, and vaudeville acts.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Upon finding said artifact, you have to figure out what it is and which landmark it belongs to. Now, in the Super Nintendo version, it was a simple case of talking to the nice lady at the counter and then answering some questions. Here, though, the counters are closed and you have to go out of your way to remember the phone number, call them, say that you want to drop off the item, and then get the questions right. If you don't, you have to leave the screen and then call them again when you come back. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know about the Moscow subway system. I guess you don't want your M back. But Moscow's a big place, so is there a better way of getting around these levels? Alright. If you can work out where in the world you are, you can send Yoshi to that location and you can ride him. God, he's dumpy looking. And huge. Anyway, what benefit does Yoshi have? None. He's the same speed as Luigi, just more ridiculous looking. Somehow, Yoshi is instead used to eat the Pokey that blocks the end of each level. A Pokey that rather relishes its demise. Instead of Yoshi, the most effective way of getting around the levels is the taxi system. If you go on the map and click on a space, you'll be transported there assuming you have enough taxis to do so. And boy is the taxi ride certainly a trip. Why is the music so jarring? Why does the driver's eyes go all over the place on a straight road? Why are the colours so vibrant? And most importantly, why does the ID picture not match the actual driver? Is he real? Are you even a real taxi driver? Did I just get to some stranger's car? It is worth noting that the taxi can completely break the game. Specific locations such as Alcatraz Island or the canals of Amsterdam require the taxi to get to and from there. If you go there with only one taxi fare, you'll get stuck there with no way out. As you progress through the game, you'll notice that the levels are actually pretty inconsistent. Some levels require 3 items, while others may require 5. Doesn't help that the phone numbers are longer in some levels and then short and sweet in others. Also, it does get pretty ridiculous the kind of items you find. So this book I found in Nairobi means conference center apparently. Oh, it's a menu. Yeah, of course, obviously, of course it fucking is. Or how about the bell from Notre Dame? Which one? Oh, but the biggest offender all the way from New York City is King Kong. You're telling me King Kong, King of the Apes, was in that little sack, and the people in charge of the Empire State Building want him back? The very same people that just called him a fictional character? Oh, let's just kill some Koopalings, huh? Huh? Every 5 levels, a fire flower appears in the hub world, allowing you to outright murder a Koopaling. No boss fight either, just one click and one hell of a throw. Look at that stance. Beautiful! As you enter the second world, you'll figure out the formula to each level. Find Koopalings, answer quizzes, get Yoshi, find exit. I suppose it isn't so much the destination that's the aim, so much the journey, seeing as this is an educational game. But am I really learning anything? Well, I learned Luigi was at Tiananmen Square. I bet you didn't know that. And since this is technically a Mario game, it's kind of hilarious to see things like Guinness, Stalin, murdering bulls, and World War II mentioned.
No, it's alright, this is culture.
You can even visit the Berlin Wall.
Get off of my back, damn it!
Now I know Mario World has an excellent soundtrack, no denying that. But all the music in this game is either a remix of the first world from Mario World, or the Star World theme. I mean, I appreciate that it's done in a way to reflect the nation, but there's only a select number of music tracks. You will get sick of the same tracks over and over again. Sydney, for example, sounds broken. I also love that the Koopa Troopers stole a bloody koala. That was brave of them. Gotta get that photo up though. Well, it was either that or this photo of a guy falling off his board. I was like, whoa! Whoa. I don't know what's going on, but that Buddha face is giving me the creeps. Like it's staring at me. Reaching out to me. Oh, guys! Oh, and Luigi's got to get that photo up with the koala in Tokyo, who looks identical to the one in Sydney. I didn't really think this through, did I? While on the topic of Tokyo, I'm actually enjoying going to all these famous locations. Cairo, for example, features the usual locales you might expect, like the pyramids, the Sphinx, and Tutankhamun's tomb. Oh, so King Tut's tomb was free of grave robbers, was it? Well, clearly not. And wow, whatever that Koopa Trooper's dragging must be heavy. Yeah, that'll do it. As the game goes on, Mario will chime in with updates as to Bowser's plan and how your progress is affecting him. So Bowser's using hair dryers, is he? Okay, it's Reno's threat then, move on. But eventually you'll hit a point where Bowser has had enough and tickles Mario, who reveals he's scared of the dark. So all those times he's been in the dark, he's been absolutely terrified. And actually, I'm terrified of Iggy Koopa, to be honest. Him and his fireproof hair. We finally enter the last world where Ludwig von Koopa awaits. Being the final world, one might expect some kind of variation. I could not say that with a straight face.
Can I call you Luigi?
No! Peter Ustinov. Peter Ustinov? Peter Ustinov. There are no words to describe what I'm thinking right now. Ludwig also has to remind you that Mario being in the dark, actually a big deal. Go figure. Which reminds me from this point that every time I put the wrong number in the phone, I'd get this creepy ghost of Mario coming up. Never lose sight of your goals. They may fade away from you forever. To be fair, I'd rather see that on my phone than this guy. Okay, so I may have gotten all the items, but I have no idea where in the world I am. Hey, let me ask this guy. Fuck you! And now we finally reached the final level, which appears to be Rio de Janeiro. Things like Carnival and Copacabana give it away, so let me just answer these questions and... Wait, that wasn't in the pamphlet. I got it wrong? Well, of course I got it wrong. That information is nowhere in this game. How can I learn the facts if you don't tell me the facts in the first place? What is education about a game that doesn't tell you the information you need? All I'm learning is the fucking phone number off my heart. The last level. Of course the last level is where I lose it. With all the levels finished, we can take down Ludwig, whose hair isn't entirely flammable, very important, and finally face Bowser. It's time for an epic final boss worthy of the great King Koopa himself from his castle on high. Or that works too. Yeah, no fight. Luigi just pulls his shell off and kicks him off the castle. Oh, that wacky Bowser. Luigi gets the key from Bowser's shell and then throws it through the computer, and then opens the door to Mario's cell. And props for Bowser's security for how many doors Mario is behind.
I got 7 like 11s, about 8, 38s, 9, 9, 10, 9.
They leave the castle and stroll off into the horizon as Bowser watches, no doubt hoping for some kind of sequel hook. Good luck. And I'm left wondering, what did I just do for the last 3 hours? I feel... cold. I feel my brain is dead. Music by Rob Wallace. Oh, you've made my list. So that was Mario is Missing. If I died tonight, I'd be okay with that. Never has a game drained me so much and made me feel so mindless, which is actually ironic for an educational game now I think about it. But at the very least, I found the door to 10 Downing Street. That was worth stealing, apparently. Oh, god damn it.
I knew I recognized this place. You've just been reusing old locations.
Really? That's what you wanted to tell me? All the crazy shit I just witnessed, and that's the thing that's out of line.
I wasn't really paying attention to that filth.
Yeah, that's probably the smart thing to do. Anyway, I'm going out now, so if you just excuse me.
What, you're gonna fly to every country, steal artifacts from them, and probably get shot along the way?
How'd you know about that?
Okay, I guess I'm not the most famous psychic Pokemon.
No, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yep.
Well, in that case, with you here, we can hack them first, right?
I guess.
Already?
Alright, where do you want to start?
Better start big. Let's go with the United States. A little bit of Canada. Mexico. Panama. Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador too. Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam.
Is the song necessary?
Norway, Sweden, and Iceland, Finland, and Germany now in one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, but the Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain.
You know you've done England already, right?
India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippines, now there's Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana,
Mozambique,
Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana.
Is it almost over?
Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Nigeria, Chad, Liberia, Egypt, Benin, Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algiers. Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea, Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mahole, Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Greenville, Kenya, Tanzania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
You know that song is horrendously outdated, right?
I know.
Moscow, Beijing, Athens. I don't know how you did it, but you managed to steal from all of them?
Well, you know what they say of the Acropolis where the Parthenon is.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I thought if I just tried to confuse you with my nonsensical ramblings, you'd let me go.
Is everything a joke to you?
Funny things are.
When we recruited you and gave you the watch, there was an agreement that you wouldn't abuse its power.
Have you ever played Mario is Missing or Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop? They do things to you.
Okay, here's the deal. Since you are technically still with us, we're gonna let you off. But we're sending someone to monitor you.
Who'd you have in mind?
Hey! It's my watch buddy!
This is about your back garden, isn't it?
Right, so, we need to get all of that pent-up stealing lust out of your system, so why not play a game that involves stealing, like Payday 2, or GTA 5, or...
Bonanza Brothers!
What?
Bonanza Brothers!
You mean Bonanza Bros?
No! Bonanza Brothers!
Right, okay, I've not played that properly, so...
Oh! I'll tell you all about it.
After a year of breaking into arcades, Bonanza Bros. Hit the Sega Mega Sys in 1991, and... that's about it, actually. The game pretty much speaks for itself.
You're not selling me on this.
Right from the very start, the game has style. The neon logo with the city skyline and that jazzy Mega Sys music.
The game also cuts to an introduction which shows the plot. Two thieves called Robo and Mobo, or is it Mike and Spike, are contacted by an unknown client who tasks them with breaking into places and stealing everything within 3 minutes.
Yeah, I guess the word plot is pretty loose. I like how reflective their glasses are, though.
I can see everything.
What the fuck are you doing?
Diving straight into the game, we see that it was clearly made with co-op play in mind, especially since the layout looks off during single player. In co-op it's perfect as it keeps things focused with both players having equal amount of room, but single player? Not so much.
Yeah, I kind of wish it gave you more screen space in single player, but I suppose it's capturing that arcade style. To make up for it, the game encourages you to play with a friend or else it becomes much more difficult.
The gameplay basically sees you exploring buildings, grabbing loot, hiding and ducking past guards, and also shooting anyone who stands in your way. It's a shooter platformer stealth hybrid, and honestly I can't think of many games like it. That and a game where you break into places, steal shit and shoot cops appeals to me.
Oh god, he's still moving! Twitching. Out of his misery, out of his misery, out of his misery, out of his...
The controls are simple enough, but the gun does only stun enemies with
the world's slowest bullets.
However, there are other means of taking out enemies, such as slamming doors in their face. That is satisfying. Shame they can do it on you too.
One thing I love about this game though is just how much personality there is. The eponymous brothers may have a simplistic design, but the way they cackle when they grab treasure amuses me.
It's the little details that make this game charming, like how if you hide and cover for too long, a fly will land on the player's glasses.
You got a little something on you.
What?
Nothing. And of course this game gives us my favourite death sound in any game ever. With the emphasis on not dying, except for mortality. I've got to think more positively. Yeah, you could say I'm a fan. Wow! As we go through the levels, there's something very notable. The soundtrack is so good! The moment you start the first level, you instantly hear this jaunty and catchy tune that you could perfectly sneak around to. The music in this game is perfect for a game about stylish criminals. While I'm a bit disappointed that not every level has its own unique theme, each track is still so catchy. Level 1 was easily my favourite, and I was so excited when it came back later down the line.
What each level does have, however, is variety in locations and aesthetics. Some levels have you just walking around company offices, others will see you ziplining around mansions, and using springboards to jump onto casinos.
Even better is that it's called the Ages Casino.
One level even has you riding underground in minecarts.
Okay.
So since we're playing as criminals, it only makes sense to have cops and guards be the enemies, and boy is there a good variety of enemies. Simple bobbies who blow their whistle to get attention, armed guards with shields and batons, big demolition dudes, and even guard dogs. Oh, I don't want to shoot dogs.
Oh, jeez. 16-bit growling. No, come on, get him then. Oh. Sorry.
While shooting enemies to stun them is sort of the main way you can get by, stealth is also encouraged, which incorporates the cover system as well as being able to walk around enemies and obstacles. If you feel like it, you can even crush them.
Only problem is that when you get further into the game, enemies come more and more often and you end up in a clusterfuck.
At least there's this guard who's just sitting there stabbing the stairs.
Don't quit your day job.
Even better since enemies are locked to their respective rooms, so you can stun one and then move on to the next room and there's nothing they can do about it.
The way that enemies are structured and laid out tells me one thing. One itty bitty thing.
This game is fucking impossible in single player!
The game is infinitely easier with a co-op partner, as the guard enemies require your partner to either go around the back of them or distract them. I'm clipping the microphone.
Also, having the map which shows you where all the treasure is allows you to plan ahead and decide how to tackle the level. You can stick together to take out enemies easier, or you can split up in the larger levels to gather the treasure quicker. There's no real wrong way of playing it.
Okay, here's the plan. You take that way, I take the stairs. Good. Oh shit! Change of plan. The way that levels raise in difficulty feels really natural. Sure, enemies will gang up on you and it gets overwhelming to say the least, but the amount of them is what makes it feel natural. What's more are the traps that appear. There are the aforementioned zip lines that make you feel like a badass, cans you can trip on that alert nearby enemies, oh you fucking piece of shit! Rakes that make you feel like a regular sideshow Bob. And trapdoors. Of course some of these don't always work.
Do you mind? A man just died.
What? You mean him?
The last 4 levels offer some interesting new gimmicks. The appropriately named MD Labs.
It stands for Mega Drive!
Yes, I know. In this lab you can actually use these robot heads to hide in plain sight, but that can't help for long since these armoured guards are everywhere.
Christ, how are you supposed to do this in single player?
Same with the next level where the brothers strike a ship and go... which is significantly easier with a co-op partner. Like, Christ! Before the final level though, we hit an art gallery with a nice variety of paintings such as this delightful anime girl.
I'm amazed they can fit a whole painting in that sack.
What?
And now we finally reach the final level, which is a great big pyramid filled to the brim with treasure.
Even the music is the same as the first level, so a nice bit of full circle going on. Love that detail.
So after you exit the ancient Egyptian pyramid with all the floppy disks and film rolls,
truly ahead of their time,
you get a blank screen with a word of congratulations. That's it, you've just beaten the game.
I will say though that the credits music is delightful. It really captures that winding down feeling of just coming off an intense adventure. I also appreciate the old-timey film style that the credits and cutscenes have. That classic crime gangster movie vibe is a great addition. And so ends the tale of the Bonanza Brothers. Their legacy will continue to shine throughout the ages. In one game which happens to be Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Beautiful. They didn't even make it to the sequel. See you, Space Brothers.
So, now we've finished that, and it's all done with, do you feel like you've got all of this stealing out of your system?
You know what? Yeah, I do. Because I think I just need someone to vent to get this all out of my system. Because, I mean, it was fun being a thief, being a masterclass, leaping rooftops, stealing shit, all that great stuff. The thrill of it, I did it for the thrill. But, between it being, illegal and then the freaking watch Green Lantern ripoffs grab me and all that good stuff, I just think Bonanza Brothers, yeah, that was the one. That was always gone.
In the brief time you were distracted, I helped myself to one of your games. Good luck figuring out which.
Motherfucking titty-sucking two-ball bitch!
Although whoever inspired him to steal must have been the most amazing, talented, really talented and handsome man. Yep.
Breathe slowly as you maintain your pose.
Oh shit.
Your body swayed a bit.
Okay, well. He didn't steal Wii Fit. Well, I know at least there's one game he didn't take.
Is it finally that time?
Oh, fuck! Can I have one game that doesn't teleport me somewhere?
You know, opinion is a funny word. We throw it in people's faces when it's not even something based on facts or knowledge. Just experience and I'm gonna start again. Let's track this from the beginning. This all started when I decided to play Sonic and the Black Knight. Following the release of Sonic and the Secret Rings in 2007, Sega continued the now dead Sonic storybook series with Sonic and the Black Knight 2 years later. I say now dead because Black Knight was the second and last entry in that series. Like many Sonic games, the game opens with a beloved FMV cutscene and, as usual, I love me a good FMV cutscene. The story here sees a young wizard named Melina running from the corrupt King Arthur, and their voices might sound familiar.
Forgive my abrupt summons.
I shall give chase. Spread out and go after them.
Krista told me you were dead.
I am. This is all a dream.
When cornered, Melina uses a spell to summon Sonic the Hedgehog to protect her. A foolproof plan if ever there was one. And then teleports away, dragging Sonic with her. I'll admit, a speedy blue hedgehog holding chili dogs is one hell of a distraction. Oh yeah, it's the first Sonic game where Sonic actually is seen eating a chili dog. Is it stupid? Maybe. Is it completely in character? Yep. Is it cheesy? Yeah, probably more of a peppery taste, but damn it, Sonic is more in character in this one cutscene than he has been in newer games, so I'm clinging on to that. Arthur rides his flying horse to a cliff where the Knights of the Round Table are waiting. All three of them. There's some genocidal story to this, I'm sure. And actually, I'm really happy to see Blaze as part of this group. In this game, she's considered on par with Knuckles and Shadow, and I'm like a proud parent looking at that team. Yep, the Knights of the Round Table. I can only imagine what running into one of them must be like.
Stop! Can I give me a second? This is a really awkward place to stop.
Alright then. Not from around here, are you?
Gee, I wonder what gave that away.
The clothes, the posture, the hair, the manner of speech.
Yeah, can't fault that.
That artifact.
What, this?
Forgive me. I am Lancelot.
Yes. Of course.
Sorry to do this to you, but I need you to come with me.
I don't have a choice, do I?
Nope.
Okay, well,
So, as we dive further into the story, we see how the rest of the cutscenes are presented, which is instantly better than Secret Rings. While you could argue that having images with characters keyframed around is lazy, I think it suits the Arthurian aesthetic, and the colours really cement the storybook look. Having more movement on screen also puts Secret Rings to shame, as there was little to none in that game. Melina explains to Sonic how King Arthur was corrupted by the scabbard of Excalibur and has now brought darkness to the land of Camelot.
He bears the scabbard of Excalibur.
I think I've heard that name before.
You reckon, Sonic? The most famous sword in fiction? I'm not convinced.
Let us go. We can talk along the way.
Christ, all I hear is Clementine. It is from this point that Sonic's quest begins, as he's tasked with claiming the sacred sword Caliburn and slaying the Mad King. At least Melina is nice enough to give Sonic a gauntlet before leaving. Only one, mind you, so probably leaving him a bit unbalanced. Yeah, there's a lot of story to throw at you for a Sonic game, but I respect the Sonic game that's definitely trying to tell a more interesting story than usual. But hey, what's a big story without exposition, right?
That is the artifact summoned by Melina.
Hero was hoping the scene change would avoid an exposition dump.
That is the last item we need to restore England to its former glory.
Nope, there it is. So, King Arthur, Merlin, Knights of the Round Table, they're all where?
Gone. Slain by Ignitus, the warlord. Merlin, Arthur, the knights, they're all gone.
Alright, so what next?
Next, we go up there.
So with that hurdle comes the game's first hurdle as we enter the actual gameplay. I'll be the first to admit that, yeah, it's not the best looking game out there. Sonic Unleashed proved how nice a Sonic game can look on the Wii, while Secret Rings and Black Knight seem more in line with the late GameCube era. Luckily, Black Knight makes up for this with more dynamic and varied environments to run through, as well as a good use of camera for more cinematic moments. For example, during the trading missions, Melina decides to drop a frickin' dragon on you.
Whoa, Melina, we're just training. Isn't that a bit much?
Dracarys.
However, that's just taking the game at face value. Let's address the great big cat in the room, shall we? The controls. So Secret Rings thought it was too good for normal controls and had you tilt the bloody remote to simply move. Luckily, Black Knight uses a mind-blowing invention. The control stick. Now you can control Sonic like a human being with the use of
opposable thumbs.
But of course, they sought to squeeze in some waggling controls for the sword combat, and yeah, it does lead to some moments where you are just slicing through enemies like a madman. But there are two reasons the controls are actually redeemable. One is simply that cutting through enemies is actually really satisfying at times. It makes you feel indestructible as you hack and slash through hordes of goons. The other reason is the new move known as the Soul Surge. Holding down B and then shaking the remote once will send Sonic blasting through, and upon clashing with an enemy, goes into slow motion so you can time your attack just right. Doing so successfully can create a chain of well-timed hits and fast-paced combat. The camera angles, the speed, and the sound design make for gratifying gameplay that rewards well-timed swings. Truly, this is how Sonic with sword combat should play. Even when you're collecting the Brave Fairy, what the fuck? Ooh, a tart! Speaking of sword combat, reminds me of my journey actually.
Oh, God. Melina, I found the artifact you summoned.
Finally.
Although, came with this attached.
Now that I didn't predict.
So, Melina, huh? You the reason I'm here?
Indeed, I required that device, but upon summoning, you must have come with it.
Okay, yeah, simple yes would suffice.
My apologies. I hope you were not in the middle of important work.
No, I wasn't doing anything.
Running down the avenue, see how the sun shines brightly on the city, on the streets where once was painted. Mr. Blue Sky is living here tonight. Hey.
But now that we have this, we can restore the sword to its former glory.
You gotta be kidding me. All right.
Didn't expect that.
Such weak arms.
Yup, it's at this point that Sonic can finally pull the sword in the stone. After presumably sleeping for 7 years, we now hold the sacred blade Caliburn in our hands. Plus points for naming it Caliburn and not some made up thing. Good sign of actual research in Arthurian legend. Although granted there is one difference with this sword.
Well, this is gonna be fun, isn't it?
With a scrawny knave like you? Hardly. Hello there.
Yeah, the sword talks. And as stupid as that sounds, you know, a Sonic game where there's a bloody talking sword, I actually really like Caliburn. He has a much more unique voice than most Sonic characters with his Carrie Elwes-like Britishness, and his banter with Sonic throughout the adventure makes for a fun dynamic. He manages to bring out Sonic's more cocky side, which we really haven't seen properly since the likes of Adventure 2. But oh wait! King Arthur arrives and the duel begins!
What? Already?
Yes.
So yeah, we're already fighting King Arthur. And while the fight is short-lived, it does again make use of well-timed swings. However, the idea of mandatory quick-time events with motion controls is a terrifying thought. Before hits and he's done. The last hit looking especially slick with Sonic grinding after Arthur while wielding Caliburn. So Arthur bails on his flying horse, which leaves Caliburn hopping mad.
Stop calling me Knave! I'm Sonic the Hedgehog!
Very well then, I shall call you Knave the Hedgehog.
Rebrand that shit! So while Sonic and Caliburn get acquainted, Melina gets surprisingly somber.
Why do flowers bloom, knowing they are destined to wither?
Huh?
Their time of beauty is so short-lived.
This is actually a really touching moment that conveys Melina's motivations as well as letting Melissa Hutchison deliver some pretty good voice acting. But it's too early for me to get existential. Stop it, just get back to my story.
You're accepting of Lancelot and King Arthur, but not of me.
Well, it's just that this is proper Arthurian stuff right here.
Ooh, Arthurian, I like that.
You know, less magic and armor and more being hit in the face by a sword.
I'm capable of that.
Okay, this is getting nowhere. So, we've got a quirky sidekick, we've got a cool mentor character, a nice exposition provider. Now we need is a villain.
That would be Ignitus.
Oh, yeah.
I must depart. Ignitus's followers will be after me. Good luck.
Okay, well, that's unnerving.
Gawain and Percival are the remaining knights. We should recruit them to our cause. Percival will be easy enough, but Gawain will take some convincing.
Can't we just sit him down, have some tea and a nice chat?
Arthur tried reasoning with him once, lost a tooth.
And just as Merlina decides she's had enough and bails from the story, our quest begins! Now we have to repair Caliban at the blacksmith, find the Lady of the Lake, and defeat the Knights of the Round Table. Firstly is the blacksmith who we find in the castle town. At this point in the game, we are given optional missions to provide more varied gameplay, which isn't really needed, especially since some of these gimmicks are stupid. Like giving town people charity to increase your chivalry. A nice idea, but the execution is just terrible. You have to stop in your tracks to talk to these freaky things, and play a brief quick time event just to hand it over? What? So they won't take my money if I get it wrong? Well, their loss. Just stay poor and weird sounding. And speaking of sound, let's tackle easily the best thing about Black Knight. My god, the soundtrack is gorgeous. The combination of rock guitars and orchestral violins makes for a grand score that helps capture the environment very well. Levels such as Misty Lake, Great Plains and Deep Woods really get that fancy feel down perfectly. But the reason I bring up the music now is because when we meet the blacksmith, we see it's Tails! Complete with a violin cover of his theme song Believe in Myself from Sonic Adventure. Also, I like how in this world, Knuckles, Shadow and Blaze are the famed Knights of the Round Table while Tails is a lowly blacksmith. Know your place! So with Caliban restored, we enter the deep woods with a nice wagon ride.
Oh no, the horse head! Oh no!
Oh, never mind, Sonic doesn't seem to mind. It is here that we meet the first Knight of the Round Table in the form of Sir Lancelot. And what is that I hear?
I challenge you to a duel.
It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
And since Shadow is Lancelot, thank God Guinevere's not in the story.
Will you abandon your sword and flee? Sounds good to me!
He is Knave the Hedgehog, and he accepts your challenge.
I love that Caliban just throws Sonic into a fight to the death, especially after Sonic shows he's a coward. At least Sonic and Lancelot aren't talking over each other. The actual fight itself is somehow even easier than Arthur. It's over just as soon as it begins, which is a real shame because motherfucking Crush 40 are playing in the background. Let me have this! With Lancelot defeated, Caliban wonders why Sonic simply didn't just kill him. And I just realized I said that about a Sonic game. They reached the mystical lake where Nemu, the Lady of the Lake, resides, and much to Sonic's shock, it's Amy. Really puts Tails into perspective, doesn't it?
I'll tell you how to hinder the scabbard's power of immortality. I'm the one who gave it to him, so it's kind of my fault, see?
That's an understatement, Nemu. You've doomed the entire kingdom. So while Caliban sits there like he's people, Nemu tasks Sonic with proving his worth as a knight.
Free the innocents from King Arthur's dungeon. Offer compassion to those in need. Defeat King Arthur's Knights of the Underworld.
I feel like one of those is more abstract than the others. This basically amounts to doing a few side quests until Sonic finds a young girl whose family was taken by a dragon.
You know where the dragon is, kid?
It's in the big cave at the bottom of that mountain.
All right. I'm on it.
Yes, we will aid the girl who sounds like Amy. Nothing suspicious about this. The duo has the detour through the Great Plains, which aesthetically is actually one of the most interesting levels. The iconography implies that it's a battlefield in the highlands with a lot of leftover weaponry, and the vast landscape shows how much more coherent levels are in this game over secret rings. All this while tracking down the remaining knights Gawain and Percival. Yes, those two.
15! He gave us 15 coins for the job.
15? I could have struck a better deal out of him than that.
Yes, you're such a way with words, as long as those words are grr, ah, and come here again, and I'll remove your head from your spine.
Lancelot! You're that knave that sided with Ignitus!
What are you talking about?
Now I'm invested.
Gawain? No, wait!
Well, good luck.
Wait, no, you daft bastard!
let's talk about Gawain. Sonic approaches Stonehenge where we see Gawain, portrayed by Knuckles the motherfucking Echidna, whose entrance is punctuated by his music.
You look just like this knucklehead I know.
Oh yeah, here he comes rougher than the rest of them, because when I think Arthurian music, I think jazz. Compared to Lancelot, this fight is a lot more fun and really makes me crave more dual combat, honestly. The clashes, the strategy of tackling their unique abilities, Crush 40 in the background, and Dan Green really hamming it up beautifully.
Ho! You dare mock Sir Gawain, Knight of the Round Table? It's time to duel!
I just wish there were more than 3, honestly, especially since the multiplayer mode includes Silver and Jet as Galahad and Lamorak, respectively, meaning they could have had a longer story with 5 knights. Although if Silver is Galahad, that would mean Silver is the son of Shadow and oh no. Well, with Gawain defeated, we can simply move on and—
Only death can remove this stain upon my honor!
Holy shit! Jesus, settle down, Gawain. Well, there you have it. We have a Sonic game where someone tries to kill themselves.
Give me a break! What's up with all this drama?
Well, that's one way to deal with a suicidal person. Look at this guy killing himself. Peh, what a maroon.
Isn't there more to being a knight than just serving a king?
I think that is literally the definition of a knight, actually. Well, I have to process that. Suicide in a Sonic game. Luckily for me, it didn't come to that.
Stop what you are doing!
The sword talks.
Sword talks. Gawain.
Bravo! Bravo. What a marvellous performance.
Up yours, Percival.
Now you I like.
Percival, please. Gawain, we discussed the axes.
Twice the weapons, twice the kills.
Oh really? Percival, was it? How many kills did you get in your last fight?
30.
Okay, and you?
30.
Oh, shouldn't it be 60?
Nerd.
You shouldn't even know what that means.
Right, listen in, you two. He has restored Caliburn. And that means he will help us defeat Ignitus.
Is that right? Okay, you say it like that, I'm just gonna run away screaming.
You fight without honor or chivalry. But any excuse to kill that false king is fine by me.
Okay, great.
The journey continues as Sonic and Caliburn enter the dragon's lair. It's here that we're given a much more unique mission where Sonic has to reflect light off of Caliburn and break crystals open, freeing the trapped villagers inside. On paper you think that aiming would be easy with the motion controls, but it really wants to resist. But hey, it kills the enemies too, so your bumbling actually serves a purpose. Also, the improved backflip from Secret Rings really makes exploration in non-linear levels much easier. Also, it's here that I've come to realize that Sonic and Caliburn's banter really makes the game lively and adds much more personality. The two work off each other surprisingly well, even if it is hard to hear at times. Thank God Sega loved their subtitles.
You're not thinking of... Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Sonic returns to find the child, who reveals herself to be Nemu. Never ever saw that coming, ever. Totally didn't see that coming. Oh wait, no, it's the opposite of that. Duh! Nemu reveals it was all a test to prove Sonic's worth as a knight.
'Cause you're a true knight.
Yes!
Bit of an underreaction.
Yeah!
At any rate, it is time to track down the last knight, Percival, who resides in a volcanic mine. What version of England is this? It's probably Wales. This level makes use of grinding pretty well, and thank God switching rails is easy. After grinding in Sonic Heroes, I think I'm just paranoid.
Isn't it great?
You guys are fun. After running through the mines, we come face to face with Percival. Oh yeah, Blaze never got a theme song. I'll settle for El Flamenco Guitar. Yeah, reference my least watched video, that was a good idea. It's actually really cool to see Sonic's development to this point. When he confronted Lancelot, he was fine with admitting to cowardice and running away. But here, he now stands strong and addresses Percival formally. A chivalrous knight if ever there was one.
I have no master, except the wind that blows free.
Very well, Sonic, Knight of the Wind.
You fucking know it! Percival is easily the most tactical fight in the game, as she takes the most damage and has the trickiest attacks to dodge, such as her fire spin. A really nice detail though is that the knights will actually wait until you throw the first strike. Chivalry's still alive, I see. Anyway, after the fight, Percival stumbles off a cliff as Sonic rescues her from the lava below.
Save the hugs and kisses for later.
You jealous or something?
For a knave such as you? Ridiculous. Sonic the Hedgehog, you have mastered the code of chivalry.
Caliburn, can this wait? We are literally dangling above our deaths.
From this day forth, You shall be Sir Sonic, Knight of the Wind.
Sonic is a knight, it's canon. Now please shut up so we can climb back up. And then along came Molina. Yep, with the knights defeated, Molina tells Sonic it is now time to face King Arthur. Yeah, I really wish the story was longer. Like I said, why weren't Galahad and Lamorak featured? That still really bugs me. Good timing as we just found Ignitus' castle.
Huh. See, when I pictured, King Arthur's castle, I expected something a bit less rustic.
Well, Ignitus always did have poor taste.
Ooh, sassy Lancel.
Don't call me that.
I can't wait to woo a damsel in distress. My word, what a pathetic dwelling.
Enough talk. Let's move on. Slay the Arsling and restore honor to the kingdom.
So the map screen reveals Arthur is residing in Avalon, so you know he's gonna be fine. Just like Ignitus is gonna be, I'm sure.
Well, if that castle's not Baroque, don't fix it.
Baroque?
Oh, don't worry, that'll be funny in like 1,000 years.
Keep your voices down. If Ignitus hears us, then he'll...
No, by all means, continue. Give me some ideas.
Hang on a second, what's going on? I mean, if these guys are here like they're really cool, authentic stuff, you're there with like that. What's with the cape? Are we going to the opera? I don't think so.
You told me this was the finest armor money could buy.
It's quite some, like, the knave knows no grass, but first let me look at him.
I can still hear you.
She's right, you know.
Thank you.
Enough of this. Get him, Tom. When he dies, jump Ignitus and I'll grab the sword.
Yep.
Time to face the knight. Knight of the Wind instrumental in the background? Check. Sonic being badass? Check. Caliban looking conflicted about the whole thing? Check. And right into the fight we get another Crush 40 song being Fight the Knight, which suits it perfectly. The fight against King Arthur is a perfect evolution of the original fight. While the mandatory motion controls are still prevalent, you have to reach him yourself rather than letting the game do it for you. Doing so requires the Soul Surge, which you charge up by hitting King Arthur's attacks back at him, with the use of speed, well-timed attacks, and manipulating his own attacks. It's a pretty solid boss fight. The location of Avalon also makes it that much greater. It may only be used for this mission, but the detail is lovely. I'm sure Ignitus will be just as challenging.
Oh dear.
Huh. I expected longer.
Well, at any rate, Sonic uses the power of the Knight's Swords to render Arthur vulnerable and... Sonic just murdered a man. Sonic the Kingslayer.
Yes! I did it!
And that's the story of Sonic and the Black Knight. Over the credits we get the theme of the game, Knight of the Wind by Crush 40, which is divine. My favourite theme after Ungravitify. With that out of the way, we might as well put an end to my story.
You did it.
So I assume you summoned this as well?
Of course.
Okay.
Well, that was fun. I was promised a proper fight.
We can go slay some marauders when we get back.
Not so fast, there's a goddamn twist! Turns out King Arthur was an illusion made by Merlin, which means that none other than Merlina is behind everything. She then uses the scabbard to take control of Arthur's kingdom. Sonic not only did a plot twist, but actually a pretty damn good one. When I first played this, I legitimately did not see this coming. Even better since we get a new FMV cutscene of Sonic teaming up with the Knights of the Round Table. This leads us into the next level, the Knight's Passage, where the only mission is run, fucking run! This level is also the hardest in the game with tight jumps, sneaky traps, and it's pretty long too. Of course, part of the problem is that the controls aren't as smooth as they should be, resulting in some very, very cheap deaths.
It's like I said before. Isn't there more to being a knight than serving a king?
For the kingdom and its people!
And now here comes one of the things I love about this game. From this point on, and for the first time in a 3D Sonic game in ages, you can play as Knuckles, Shadow, and Blaze. While they are limited to the post-twist levels, they play very differently from each other. Lancelot relies on teleporting and spin jumps to get by. Gawain has Knuckles' trademark gliding, can dive into enemies, and even throws his axes like boomerangs, while Percival uses fire and has slower, more focused attacks. The best part of all this is that you can unlock medals representing each knight, and equipping them changes the music to their themes. Running through a giant fort while Unknown from Emmy or All Hail Shadow is blasting in the background. Is it possible to top that? Yes, because we have a game where Shadow says this.
These butterflies, they're trying to confuse me.
And this.
I have failed!
If Arthur is the King of England, then Shadow is the Queen of Drama. The next wave of levels can be done in any order with any character, even though the cutscenes don't change. The new levels are variations of where you encountered each night, with a snow-covered forest, a lava-ridden mountain, and, probably my favourite level, a gigantic fort complete with dungeons. Something about charging through here as Knuckles in full armour, breaking open cells and saving everyone while slashing through enemies to this glorious music is just beautiful. The other levels aren't quite as good. The Shrouded Forest has some pretty bullshit jumps, while the Cauldron basically forces you to jump over everything and avoid any confrontation. But at any rate, the knights place their swords in pedestals that limit Merlina's power. Only one pedestal remains, which is stored deep in the dragon's lair. And almost at the end of the entire game's run, we finally get to fight a goddamn dragon to the death. Shame the path to him is bullshit. As cool as seeing the dragon is, for some reason the one time I play this for the review, Sonic won't stay still to deliver the final blow. Damn it, gotta fucking stay still, fucking, come on, god damn it, yes, no, oh fucking, there we go.
You are a pest who cannot stand the might of smoke. Oh, damn it.
With all 4 pedestals activated, it's time to take the fight to Merlina. Yeah, I know exactly what that feels like.
Ah! Really?
Ignitus was misguided. His kingdom is a blight that must be purged.
It is at this point that the game proves its worth. Sonic confronts Merlina asking why she did what she did. She responds by explaining everything that is to befall the kingdom, such as Arthur's death at the hands of Mordred and the fall of the Knights of the Round Table. She summons a flower which Sonic recognizes as the dying flower from the start of the game. It is here that Merlina's character was laid bare, and her motivation is fully understood. Merlina wishes for a world with no end, a world that never ages and never falters. Eternal life in the worst way of never living life at all, a permanently bitter existence. In contrast, we see Sonic's character laid bare, where he stands up to her, defiant to the end even if it costs his own life. Hell, Caliburn is destroyed by Merlina here, so while it is clear that she's the antagonist, let's just take a look at the story from another perspective. While what Merlina is doing is a classic case of a well-intended extremist villain, Sonic is hardly a saint either. An outsider who slays the king and wishes to doom a kingdom to his eventual fate. This mindset perfectly ties Sonic back to his original characterization. He doesn't do what he does because it's the right thing to do. He does it because it's what he believes he should do. And at this crucial point, what is the song that plays? Sonic's theme from Sonic Adventure, It Doesn't Matter. A song featuring lyrics like, it doesn't matter who is wrong or right, I've got my way, my own way, and place all your bets on the one you think is right. To really hammer it in, remember the spell Merlina used to summon Sonic in the first place? longtime Sonic fans might recognize it. Yeah, interesting that the same spell Eraser Jin used to summon a bloody demon is used to summon Sonic. Make of that what you will. Maybe I'm simply reading too much, but a sign of a good story is one you can interpret in many ways. Can't think of too many Sonic games you can do that with. As Sonic is being beaten to a pulp in a surprisingly dark scene. Look, he has bruises. That's too real. Nemu sends the sword's true powers to aid him, and we get the best damn thing ever. This leads us to the final battle against Melina, and holy shit, the music!
My eyes are filled with curiosity. You think that you have power over me.
While as awesome as it sounds, it may also sound familiar, as we've actually heard this tune before. Melina's leitmotif throughout the game, most notably in the flower scene and following Night of the Wind in the credits, is a slower instrumental version of the theme here called With Me. Musical foreshadowing, oh how I love it! Also, Melissa Hutchison's voice is chilling during this fight.
You would not understand, nor could you understand.
Black Knight easily has the best voice acting in the series. As for the fight itself, it's a good example of taking everything you've learned throughout the game and testing you. Using the boss's attacks to charge your soul gauge up like against King Arthur before ramming her with well-timed swings. You can time it so well you can actually finish her off in seconds. Now that's a hell of a reward for playing well.
There's nothing Excalibur can't cover. That was dramatic.
I just wanted everything to go back to the way it was before, when we had Arthur and Merlin to guide us. But all that power, I felt invincible. I thought I could fix everything.
Alright, Melina, listen. Things change. And yeah, there are times where you can't do anything about that, and it sucks. Legitimately. It sucks, but the way I see it, you've just got to keep moving on. Give yourself a reason to get out of bed every morning. Yeah, besides, you got these guys to help you.
Here, nerd.
And yeah, the idea of moving on from a bitter past and living a much more fulfilling life is exemplified in the game's ending. In the ruins of the castle, Sonic approaches the defeated Melina and explains to her how every world has its end. So instead of living in dread of the inevitable, you should just go out and enjoy your life. In doing so, Melina remembers her grandfather Merlin, and we see what happens when you actually redeem a villain rather than just blow them up. A much more fulfilling and meaningful ending. After this, the knights are forced to come to terms with the reality that Arthur was an illusion. However, Caliban steps in, having been reborn as Excalibur during the fight, and declares that technically, the true King Arthur is Sonic himself.
You are the one and true King Arthur?
Yeah, that's pretty cheesy. But if you think about it, since the likes of Knuckles and Shadow are Gawain and Lancelot, I guess Sonic can represent Arthur. It's probably more of a Killian Mandarin situation you shouldn't read too much into. Anyway, we need some cheesiness to not only bookend the story's tone, but to also remind us that at the end of the day, this is a Sonic game, and no matter how deep it can get, we're still here to have fun. This leads us into the real credits, accompanied by a much more emotional Crush 40 song called Live Life. And that brings us to the end of Sonic and the Black Knight. With this whole game behind me now, how does it stack up? Well, for a spin-off that was clearly made on a budget with gimmicky controls, it actually kind of holds up. I'm not here to say that Sonic and the Black Knight is one of the greatest Sonic games ever, but my god it tries. Does it have its flaws? Oh god, of course. Most notably are the motion controls and the story length. But with a much more weighty story with strong characterization, a gorgeous soundtrack, some pretty interesting levels with multiple playable characters that all play differently from each other, it is certainly the underdog in the franchise in my eyes. But hey, this is all just my opinion. I might convince some people to give it a chance, or some people might have their mindset on hating it based on the name alone, which, to be fair, on paper is a pretty ridiculous concept. But either way, this was my experience with Sonic and the Black Knight, and now I feel like it's time to finally wrap up my story. And after all, I've got to get back to my own time.
You surprise me, Knave. While you can't fight to save your life, you certainly have a way with words.
Does that mean you're going to drop the whole knave thing now?
Oh, alright.
You know, and thank you, by the way, for listening to this whole thing. I just didn't want to hold this in. This is the kind of thing that makes people sick, but I had no idea you're such a good listener. You know, I'm sick of people saying that, you know, Sonic's is this bad, stupid game because it's got this and all that, and all that stupid nonsense, but...
Were you asleep?
Nah, no, I just drifted.
Drifted?
Yeah.
When did I lose you?
Lancelot?
So you heard none of that?
Look, mate, this isn't my sort of game, you know?
Okay, then what is? Bootleg games? Overwatch?
Porn games?
Oh, Christ, you know what that reminds me, actually? When I played Sonic Mania the first time, Caliban, I mean, he was like, listening, but he wasn't really paying attention, that sort of thing. I don't think he understood what a whole video game thing is. And then there's, you know, Roger, we don't talk about what Roger did. That was unforgivable. Sonic Mania! The already well-celebrated newest entry to the Sonic the Hedgehog series is inspired by the classic Megasys trilogy, and Knuckles. It was developed by Christian Whitehead, the man responsible for the definitive ports of those classic games that really need a goddamn console release. Maybe then I'll actually like Sonic CD.
Tom, what did we say about Sonic CD?
Sonic CD is a very popular Sonic game. Just because I hate its fucking guts doesn't mean I should spend the whole video shitting on it. That?
Yes.
Okay. Perfection. Well, this is a game trying to recapture that 90s Sonic feel, so there's only one way to open this. Perfection. And instantly the title screen is a good indicator of the game's quality with amazing sprite work and some damn fluid animation. And speaking of animation, I just can't get over how absolutely beautiful the opening animation is. Tyson Hesse's hand-drawn style fits classic Sonic incredibly well, and the fluidity of each motion is impeccable. There's life in every frame, and Hyper Potion's excellent music perfectly captures the intro's vibe. If there's one thing Sonic Mania excels at, it's presentation. I mean, you can tell that by the menu alone. Look at that thing! But let's actually get onto the game itself. The game opens with Sonic and Tails traveling to Angel Island. However, instead of Knuckles blocking their way, who is actually just chilling elsewhere, they see 5 egg robos pulling out a mysterious gem known as the Phantom Ruby from the ground. Well, that's a familiar sound effect. It's probably not going to be important at all. And just like that, we're back in Green Hill Zone. Classic. Gameplay-wise, Sonic Mania controls beautifully. After the awful physics of Sonic 4 and the not quite perfect controls of Generations, I can safely say that Mania plays almost identically to the original games. Dare I say, even better. That feeling of building momentum from rolling down slopes is just, unparalleled. Even better is the inclusion of a brand new move for Sonic. A brand new move that'll have you saying, wow, why wasn't this a staple of the franchise? The new drop dash move allows Sonic to roll instantly into a spin dash from jumping, and my god does it add to the speed. No more having to slowly build up speed around loops, now you can just jump straight into it. But you might be thinking, Green Hill Zone? Ha! Nostalgia pandering. Okay, you're not wrong, but there's more to it than that. For example, it's in beautiful HD rather than just going back to how it was in the 90s. I mean, could you imagine if I made this video looking like this? Now that would be nostalgia pandering. I say this because Act 2 of Green Hill Zone shows some variation from the original game with a newer level layout and Sonic CD style music. Of course, the change is exemplified with the boss. What, we're just gonna get another Wrecking Ball boss? Or maybe they'll throw us a twist and have the first boss from Sonic 2? How uninspired would that be? Oh my god, save me! Yep, the final boss from Sonic 2 is our first main boss of this game. And while it is significantly easier than Sonic 2, because god knows that would be terrifying, it still puts up a pretty nice challenge. This is great for newcomers in the series because it doesn't scare them off, and classic fans get thrown a nice juicy bone. And by bone I mean egg. A nice juicy egg. Oh god. Upon beating it, we see Eggman having a really well animated go at the previous Egg Robos, now turned into a group called the Hard-Boiled Heavies by the Ruby. Eggman snatches it and sends our hero into the next stage. I actually really like they brought back the stage transitions from Sonic 3, but only sometimes? Yeah, they can come up with a reason to go from a brand new level to Stardust Speedway, but not Oil Ocean to Lava Reef. But the transition gets better since the next level is Chemical Plant Zone, and we see the dreaded purple water acting as a foreboding message. Knuckles has the right reaction, that's for sure. It is in this level that I realized what Sonic Mania's main gimmick is. Act 1 of the old levels is essentially a remake of said level with only the mini-boss having variety, but Act 2 is a brand new level with elements taken from a variety of Sonic games. For example, here in Act 2 of Chemical Plant Zone, it throws us elements of Wacky Workbench from Sonic CD with bouncy floors, which also is the first time we actually see what this chemical plant makes. The questions that keep me up at night. But the main difference between this and Sonic CD is I actually know where I'm going this time instead of that clusterfuck of level design. And my god, that remix of Chemical Plant Zone. Well, there's no way Chemical Plant Zone could get any better. Oh my god, the boss is Mean Bean Machine! Like, seriously? A round of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is the boss. I just can't get over that. Even the music is the final boss music from it. But one might think as great as this fan service is, it's actually a jarring change of gameplay that'll throw off casual players. But luckily the perfect balance of difficulty saves it. It's easy enough for new gamers to actually win, but challenging enough that you can get caught out if you're not paying attention. Also, does that mean Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is canon? Because if it is, that would mean Scratch and Grounder are canon, and I am all for that.
I want to try this booze!
Well, at any rate, Eggman falls victim to his own machine, great design there, and then Sonic and Tails travel through a pipe and wind up in a brand new level called Studiopolis Zone. Studiopolis? It's Hydrosity all over again. Studiopolis Zone is an excellent level which is lively, colourful, fast-paced, and filled to the brim with references to older Sonic games such as Lock-On Technology, Ages, and Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop, you fuck! But my god, the music is excellent. That's shutting down the street music. Also, I love me some Dancing Eggman. Look at him go! The boss of Act 1 also is our first fight against one of the hard-boiled heavies. This one being Heavy Gunner, and it's a surprisingly tough fight which involves timing jumps just right in order to hit missiles back at him and... This seems familiar. No, not again! Yeah, this one took me a couple of tries. And by a couple of tries, I mean this was my first game over. But at least the hard-boiled heavy's theme is dang catchy. After 4 hits, he bails and we enter Act 2, which proves that Studiopolis Zone is essentially Sonic Mania's equivalent of a casino level. It's filled with lots of springs, bumpers, and machines that gain rings. But the smooth transition from a Hollywood S-City to the inside of a studio is a really nice subtle detail. And then there's the boss of Act 2, which is the power of weather forecasting itself. And you have to survive against the forecast, which is more of a liability to Eggman than anything else. IQ of 300, ladies and gentlemen. And a feminist. Huh, go figure. I especially love the detail of the TV signal cutting out upon Eggman's defeat. Boy, that sounds annoyingly familiar. Wait a minute, those numbers there. 07/22/16, as in the 22nd of July 2016, when that horrendous livestream Sonic Mania was announced had aired.
Yeah, that's a good one, guys. Yeah, come on, guys.
And just like that, Flying Battery Zone appears, which, let's face it, is one of the best songs in the entire series, and T-Loaf's remix of it is outstanding. Sonic Mania also continues its bait and switch theme, which seems to be a recurring thing with its Act 1 boss. You run into the room and see blueprints for a giant robot spider, not unlike the one for the 200th issue of the comic. But nope, Eggman drops you into the trash compactor instead. That's all you're worth to him. And thank God the thing opens upon destroying the magnet, or else we'd have a Saw 5 situation on our hands. Oof. The real joy of Flying Battery is Act 2, because holy shit is it awesome. Going from running around the inside of the battleship to running on the outside in the middle of a storm is awesome. It may be a fairly long level, but damn it, the flair and spectacle is just brilliant. In fact, one thing about Mania's levels is that they are longer than the classic levels, which isn't too bad since the levels are designed around it and the set pieces combined with the pacing makes for some fun levels, but there's still a 10-minute timer that would certainly trip up newcomers to the series. Veterans shouldn't have too much of an issue though, but what I had an issue with is the boss of Act 2. So you enter the boss room and... that tasty foreshadowing! So this boss can go die in a fire. Spikes that you keep getting crushed under? Check. Incredibly precise hit detection? Check. Using the level's gimmick, which seems to defy control? Very much check. But who can forget how the sprites spawn a ton of fan art for looking like a separate character? Knowing how self-aware the developers are though, she'll be in the sequel, don't you worry. Now isn't that just the way? There's always that one fucking boss, isn't there? If I ever see that again, I will stop being so polite. And with no transition, we suddenly enter a new level called Press Garden Zone, which is the weirdest setting for a Sonic level. This takes place in a newspaper pressing plant, and despite the premise, it's a really exhilarating level. The sense of speed and momentum here is great, and the background featuring newspapers whizzing and the music adds to the level. Oh look, they even added the scrapped enemy from Sonic 1. Eggman does care after all. Press Garden even features a repeating section like in Sonic 1's Labyrinth Zone and Sonic 3's Ice Cap Zone. Some things never change. Speaking of change though, we reach the Act 1 boss, which is simple enough. Just trick it into bashing blocks and attack it when it's exposed. But as we enter Act 2, the robot explodes and we're suddenly transported into a winter wonderland. So either the robot is filled with liquid nitrogen, or the factory is in a snowy landscape and the robot just blew a hole in the wall. One of those is more likely than the other, I'm sure. Act 2 of Press Garden Zone is beautiful. The background is gorgeous, which is something that Sonic Mania does really well. The intricacy of the chemical plant, the city skyline of Studiopolis Zone, and now the snow-covered garden of Press Garden. The backgrounds in Sonic Mania are lovely. The more serene music also perfectly cements this being a snow level. And having a snow level where getting frozen isn't a bad thing, but instead almost necessary to get around, is certainly a fun concept. That and Sonic's face is great. Luckily, this is actually one of the easiest levels of the game, which is further proven by the boss, which is the second hardboard heavy Shinobi, who exclusively uses sound effects from the Sega game The Revenge of Shinobi. He also dares to use the fucking starfish from Sonic 2's Metropolis Zone as shurikens. You fucker, I wouldn't dare wish that on my worst enemies. But outside of that, he's pretty easy, since all you have to do is jump into him when he jumps and then attack him when stunned. Now I'm just curious what the next level is. Oh no. Not Sonic CD. No! This level is fucking great! Sure, it's no secret that I hate Sonic CD, but I've always had a soft spot for Stardust Speedway, but any doubt is extinguished here. Sonic Mania takes the aesthetics, the set pieces, and the gimmicks of the Sonic CD level, and even a bit from Sonic 3's Marble Garden Zone, but fixes the horrendous clusterfuck level design. Now things are coherent and don't feel mindless or cluttered. Hell, they even managed to work in the time travel acting as a transition from Act 1 to Act 2. This means time travel isn't superfluous. And the best part of all, the music is a remix of the Japanese version of Stardust Speedway. It's only fair since Sonic Forces has the American version in it. But of course, where there's Sonic CD, there's Metal Sonic. This boss is awesome. Look at him flying around, boosting, running around a 3D tower in the background, a goddamn dumpy Silver Sonic from the Game Gear games. Oh, this is awesome. Especially since when he hits you, the spike wall behind you catches the rings. Thanks for the exploit. And the lack of stage transition leads us into... So we enter Hydrocity Zone. It's one word, there's no question about it. So the drowning paranoia is back in full bloom. Except now we have boats. That's nifty. And easily the weirdest Easter egg in any Sonic game, to the point that I really don't get it. Grabbing a hook and inputting a specific button combination would change the sound effect on the boosters to that of the YouTuber Donkey. What? Why?
Hell, why stop at donkey? Let's do more.
Yes!
I think that was the worst joke I've ever made. I especially love the background here, which makes Hydrosity appear to be within a cathedral, which is a great idea. Wait, Stardust Speedway Act 1 ends at a cathedral, and this is before the time travel. Wouldn't it be awesome if they were connected like that? Maybe there was a transition all along. And then there's the boss. After seeing Eggman scuba diving, perfection, Sonic jumps into the boss from the original Hydrosity zone, and now it's time for a role reversal. But for more fan service, there's always the Act 2 boss, which initially sees Eggman chasing Sonic down through the water tunnel, so you better save that sweet, sweet oxygen. But after beating the first wave, the tunnel leads into the original Act 1's boss room, where Eggman takes the place of that boss. So both the original bosses of Hydrosity Zone appear in Sonic Mania, but flipped. Stuff like that is perfect fan service. There's your transition. Mirage Saloon is the next level, and this is where things get different. So Act 1 plays like Sky Chase Zone from Sonic 2, which I could have done without, but it does lead to an Eggman train complete with Eggman as the conductor. He even gets a little hat. Whose is better, Conductor Eggman or Policeman Officer Sonic? Also nice of the train to tell us what the next level is. That is actually a really cool detail. So outside of the train featuring a really well animated gun and the really cool music, Act 1 isn't so great. So thank God Knuckles gets his own Act 1. After being knocked off the tornado, Knuckles goes through a more traditional level, which is actually designed exclusively for him. Having different level design for each character is a really nice thing. Meanwhile, the boss of Act 1 for Sonic and Tails is a real pain in the ass. Despite his adorable face, he can be unpredictable at times. Sure, you can see where he's going to come out of the sand, but whenever he dives from the camera's perspective, it is really hard to gauge when to strike and he can catch you out. Luckily, Knuckles' version is significantly easier, unless you use debug mode. He died as he lived. As a giant robot caterpillar sand snake. Happens to the best of us.
Oh shit! Give it under the chair. God damn it!
And we're back. So after crashing rather dramatically in the desert, we enter Act 2, which on the flip side is one of my favourite levels. The enemy variety, the set pieces and mechanics, and maybe a contender for my favourite track in the game. I also appreciate the wanted poster for Team Hooligan themselves, Fang, Bean and Bark, being a nice callback to Sonic Generations. Someday I really want them back. Maybe in Sonic Forces. We enter the boss room where the heavy magician lies, who the manual specifies is female. Because a robot's gender's relevant.
How dare you? Did you just assume my gender?
No, I take it back. This is the worst joke I've ever made. And she emerges from a box as Fang the Sniper. Holy shit! 20 years, baby! So Heavy Magician's technique is shapeshifting, which is easy to attack, by knocking them out and jumping on them. Quite similar to Heavy Shinobi, actually. But that sadly means I have to revoke Fang. Seriously, Sega, where the fuck is this character award? I guess I'll give it to Bark instead. Bean, give it to Bean. My child! You've come back! Now let's give it to Mighty. Well, I tried. After defeating the fan service boss, Sonic and Tails jump into a gun and are fired off into Oil Ocean Zone. Thank you, Eggman Train. Oh, I love that continuity. That is a really random choice to bring back, but if it means we get a new version of that music, I'm happy. And to be fair, it was never the worst level in the world, and this version does it justice. Poor plumber robot just maintaining this bloody oil refinery. Jesus, Sonic, you better watch what you smash. You never know what will happen if you...
Oh god, no, there's fire everywhere. The whole place is on fire. Everything's oiled. Even the fire shield sets it off. Whoa, Nelly.
So Sonic is responsible for a fuck ton of pollution now, which is exactly what Act 2 deals with. In a reference to Sandopolis Zone from Sonic 3, you have to pull on switches to vent out gas so you don't drown in the noxious air. Our hero caused this.
Guess I can't be the hero every time.
And this level does get anxiety inducing. There are points where you're just begging for a switch. Luckily you can dive into submarines if it gets too bad outside. But we do get a bit of a disappointing boss actually. With all the inventive bait and switches or the unique machines and hardboard heavies, we just get a slight variation of the original boss, which I never found that interesting in the first place. Just a few bounces to the head and it's done. It doesn't even set the oil on fire when exploding. Come on, where's the violence and explosions and the death? Yeah, they go and add guns and swords into their games and now I've got a goddamn bloodlust. Thanks, Sonic.
I hope you're happy. What's Sonic again?
You go down there. You stay down there until told otherwise. And down there happens to be Lava Reef Zone returning from Sonic & Knuckles, and holy shit, the music! And it is certainly a cool level to run through. The combination of the natural volcanic environment and the artificial mechanics such as the lifts powered by spin dashes that remind me of Metroid are really awesome. This is followed by a very stupid boss who falls for the same trick every time. Metal Sonic, Eggman, Hardboard Heavies, these people need to learn. Act 2 takes us deep into the mountain that really gets the Sonic & Knuckles nostalgia flowing, especially in Knuckles' version of the stage. For the first time in over 20 years, we see the Super Emeralds, which sadly seem cracked and depowered.
Actually, Christian Whitehead said on Twitter they're just stone relics.
Oh, so we're the real ones. However, the leader of the Hardboard Heavies appears and tries to take the Master Emerald for itself. Knuckles remembers what happened last time someone went for the Master Emerald through humorous doodles and jumps in to protect it. Yeah, Knuckles, like you're the protector of it or something. Meanwhile, what boss do Sonic and Tails go up against in this underground lava-ridden mountain? A motorbug riding biker bot. What the fuck? This is Heavy Rider and is once again confirmed female.
Don't you say anything. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
We now reach the last classic level, which is Metallic Madness from Sonic CD. While I enjoyed Stardust Speedway in the original, Metallic Madness was alright actually. A lot more standard than the other gimmicky levels, but here in Sonic Mania we get two gimmicks. Act 1 has you jumping between the foreground and the background like something out of Virtual Boy Warrior Land. Yeah, that was the one to reference, completely makes sense, everyone knows that one. And Act 2 keeps the size beam from the original, and oh, just look at how cute they are. Even Knuckles. The level was worth it just for that.
Oh no.
Then there are the bosses, with Act 1's being the final boss from Sonic 1. Shit. I always sucked at this one. Even worse, since just when you think you've won, he starts going haywire all over the place. Fucking stop it, you're scaring me, fucking stop it. Act 2's boss is brand new. Thank God, because the bosses in Sonic CD suck. Which sees you fighting against a Gashapon machine, which drops out mini versions of classic bosses as well as Amy dolls. Great, now we've got to deal with that creepypasta. And when he runs out of capsules, Eggman is the last thing to fall out and he just bails. From here we finally enter the last level called Titanic Monarch, and my god, this is a gauntlet. A very long level full of traps, intimidating enemies, lots of places to get crushed, and suicidal egg robos. Poor guy couldn't handle being in Sonic R. It definitely keeps you on your toes. Boy, that 10-minute timer sure is looking scary now. Adding to this feeling of finality is the Act 1 botch, which sees its return from Sonic & Knuckles' Death Egg Zone. You know what, I gotta love Eggman's sense of sentiment. I also love the continuity of how Act 1 shows the Titanic Monarch itself in the background as you scale up it, while Act 2 has you inside it, running along wires and machinery. Not quite sure why Eggman has stained glass windows installed, but I admire the flair. Look, he was even nice enough to make some for the Hardboard Heavies. It's like one big family. The final push has the level split into 4 sections, which can be done in any order, and doing so opens a portal to the final boss. Using the power of the Phantom Ruby, Eggman uses an electrified machine that can teleport Sonic and Tails to fight the Hardboard Heavies again. It sure sounds like a lot, but the game is nice enough to stop the timer for this fight. After knocking out each arm and attacking it enough times, the entire place begins to explode, causing Sonic and Tails to run away and are saved by Knuckles, boys! Following this, the Titanic Monarch explodes, leaving behind Tiny Planet from Sonic CD. Didn't even realize that was part of the story until now. Sonic, Tails and Knuckles watch from afar, which brings us to the end of Sonic Mania. Before we take on the final boss, there's one thing we have to take care of. Throughout each act, you can find giant 3D rings, and jumping inside takes you to a special stage, and is hands down the best special stage in the entire franchise. No sleeper controls or just being shit really, just running through a 3D space after a UFO. It finally, because instead of UFO catch, and now you catch UFO. It actually seems fair for once. The only times I failed were entirely my own fault. Also, the Sega Saturn style models are a delight. I would love a 3D Sonic game in this style. Maybe next time, Christian? Hell, I even love the music. Trust me, you're going to be hearing this a lot. If you want more of a special stage fix, hitting the checkpoint with over 25 rings lets you enter the special stage from Sonic 3. Crap. It's fun, but god damn I suck at these. Always have and always will. Luckily it's not mandatory. All you get are medals that unlock more options such as Mean Bean Machine mode, sound test, debug mode, and Knuckles mode. And with all 7 Chaos Emeralds in hand, let's take down Eggman as Super Sonic! Woohoo!
Wow! Speed!
Okay, well, Eggman's almost done. Just one last hit and...
Oh.
So, for the true final boss, the leader of the hardboard heavies, the Heavy King, steals the Phantom Ruby for itself and Eggman clashes with him in order to get it back, all while Supersonic tries to intervene with even the timer not being able to keep up.
So just to recap, the final boss is actually two bosses fighting each other for the Phantom Ruby while Supersonic sneaks hits in while the timer goes mad.
And as far as final bosses go, it's a tad underwhelming actually. The only real threat is running low on rings because all you have to do is ram into each robot as they swap in and out until they explode. No real variation. Luckily the music and scenery makes up for it.
So what now? Sonic beats the villain, saves the day and goes home safely? No.
As Sonic lands the final hit, the Phantom Ruby knocks the Chaos Emeralds out of him, returning him back to normal, then opens a portal sending itself and Sonic through. The Titanic Monarch explodes, but only Tails and Knuckles remain. Sonic continues through the portal and that's it. That's the end of Sonic Mania. For real this time. As far as Tails and Knuckles know, Sonic could have died in there. So what does this all mean? Well, with the pose at the end matching the pose in the Sonic Forces reveal trailer, it's safe to say that's where Sonic went.
Wait a minute. Sonic Forces?
But that is finally Sonic Mania. This is the Sonic games classic fans have been clamoring for years. Perfect controls and handling, brand new stages that are already iconic and feel like they belong along these retro stages that are beautifully remastered. The option to play as Tails and Knuckles is a plus, and it just comes together beautifully. This is already my favorite 2D Sonic game and an excellent jumping on point for newcomers.
Mewtwo! What? Sonic made an excellent game. Fetch the finest wine we have. Okay. Very good.
Well, I guess I can score 2 hat-tricks while I'm at it.
Yeah, do 3 Sonic games in a row and finish the Sonic Riders trilogy.
Sonic made an excellent game. Fetch the finest wine we have. Okay.
Well, I guess I can score 2 hat-tricks while I'm at it.
Yeah, do 3 Sonic games in a row and finish the Sonic Riders trilogy. Roger? I swear, if you do anything to mess with that, I have questions!
And I have answers. So, my weirdly combed friend, Roger tells me you have something I need.
I sincerely doubt that.
Well, would you look at that?
All I want to do is just play Sonic Mania, that's all I want.
For him to do that for me, I must have left an impression.
Considering I don't even know your name, I doubt that.
You may call me Nautilex in the brief moments that remain to you.
Hang on. I just want to hear that again. Nautilex?
Yes, Nautilex.
That's not your name.
Yes, it is.
No!
Yes!
Well, in that case, hi Nautilex. My name is Mott, and this is Regor.
Roger? Take him to the dungeon where he can learn some respect. I mean, I could kill him right now, but Now, I was going to let you choose your final game, but to be honest, I don't know why I have this.
Okay, thanks, Nautilex. Bye, Nautilex.
It's a cool name, for God's sake.
Well, I guess we're playing Splatterhouse. Why the fuck's he got a 360 in it?
Let's talk Splatterhouse. What was originally an arcade game released in the late 80s became a trilogy of console games throughout the 90s, known for its incredibly violent action and featuring stories full of dark twists and turns. Starring a man named Rick and the iconic terror mask, the series fell into obscurity and vanished with only minor references in other Namco games. It wasn't until 2010 that a remake appeared out of nowhere, and that's what we're looking at today.
Now, am I stupid for looking at a remake before the game it was based on? Oh yes.
So to really get into the mood of a game called Splatterhouse, the title screen is a gross looking man having a seizure with bloody body bits flying around. I've had worse welcomes, but before we start we have the option of choosing the mask. All 2 of them.
What's that? The rest are DLC?
And the game's opening is actually in media res, as it shows our protagonist Rick bleeding out in a pool of his own blood.
Well, there's a fine how do you do.
And while he slowly dies with such good animation, just look at that blood! He tries to cling on to the memories of his kidnapped girlfriend Jenny, but suddenly comes the booming voice of Jim Cummings.
Only thing you got left is your soul, and that belongs to me.
I accept Jim Cummings as my god. The terror mask tells Rick that Jen doesn't have to die, and Rick puts the mask on, healing him and turning him into the muscle-bound hero the fans know and love. And since Rick is voiced by Josh Keaton, I'm sure there's a spectacular Spider-Man joke about becoming an aggressive version of yourself after bonding with a foreign object in there somewhere. As we enter the first chapter, we hear the narrator is also Jim Cummings. Yeah, I can't blame them. If it was up to me, I'd have everyone voiced by Jim Cummings. You'd think following a well-animated FMV cutscene, the graphics would pale in comparison, but actually the in-game graphics are pretty good. But suddenly Rick's bones jut out of his body like he's high on Titan or something, which means it's time to fight, and oh my god, there's blood everywhere! Holy dooly, what a mess! Yeah, this is the combat of Splatterhouse, pummeling the shit out of enemies and drowning in their blood while grunge music blasts in the background. But just when you're getting into it, Rick is forced back to normal and the proper gameplay begins, which just begs the question, why did you start with the rarely used Sharpie combat then strip you of it all?
What is this? Metroid?
So how is the regular gameplay? Well, for starts, Rick feels actually really nice to control. He moves at a decent speed, feels tight and responsive when moving, his attacks are damn satisfying, and even kicks the frame rate's ass. Look, it's trying its best, alright? Shame they had to force in QuickTime events that initially seemed to go by really quickly and not give you that much time to figure out what the fuck that means. At least pulling them off results in some deeply satisfying and gory execution moves. Sure, look at that. But we run into the first problem with the game when I fail to remember that you can heal since there's no real indication you're dying. The health bar's tucked up here, but there's nothing else. The screen doesn't get more red or bloody or anything.
But death is just a slap on the wrist in this game since you can heal, so what's the big problem?
Oh my god, is the loading bad? Like, bad! Sure, the game only has to load when you die, but later down the line you will be dying a lot, so seeing this in quick succession becomes a real pain in the arse. But hey, at least Rick's arm can be ripped off and used as a weapon. That's a plus, right?
For a dick, you are such a pussy.
Wow, Winnie the Pooh just called me a pussy.
The first level ends with Rick confronting the mad Dr. West, who is the one responsible for Rick's mutilation and Jen's kidnapping.
I don't care for that. I care for that.
And despite taking a fucking knife to the head, Dr. West barely reacts, showing that there's a much more supernatural issue here. Rick continues to pursue West into the second level, which throws us into a side-scrolling segment, clearly trying to emulate the style of the original Splatterhouse. And I actually really enjoyed these segments. Maybe it's because the platforming in the 3D segments are questionable. And adding to the fan service is now we can use weapons, which, come on, it's gotta be the classic 2x4. Something I've taken notice of too is that the environments are consistent. Like you know when you're back in West Mansion after exploring other levels. And with more environments to explore comes a vast variety of enemies, such as these really cool glow-in-the-dark ones.
Okay, a death trap. I know exactly what to do.
And now it's time for the first boss, which is...
No! No! No!
Yeah, the boss is a creepy doll that transforms into that abomination. What the fuck? And in seriousness, it's a pretty fun and inventive boss. It's like a hardcore egg dragoon, which you take out by weakening its support and then button mashing your way into killing it. This boss does bring up one gripe though, and that is the soundtrack. The older Splatterhouse games have great soundtracks that fit the dire situation you're in, but here, all the music is forgettable grungy rock music that is lost in the over-the-top sound effects and dialogue. But who cares about that, because I'm fucking super Rick now. Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. Boy, what a rush.
Ain't your mama, asshole.
Asshole! When Rick catches up with Dr. West this time, West, who I'm starting to realize looks a bit like Charles Dance, pulls Jen into a portal which Rick quickly follows, leading to... What's cool though is following chapters that end with Rick jumping into portals, we get to see flashbacks of the events leading up to Rick meeting the mask. While the story of the original Splatterhouse was more in the background, here we see the events unfold, and I applaud the game's stronger focus on story, and it's certainly engaging. We see much more of Rick and Jen's relationship, and making them likable means we're more invested in saving Jen in the first place. Also, actually seeing Dr. West for once gives the game a much more concrete antagonist. And the portal takes Rick to some kind of industrial ruin where the game's difficulty starts to get to you. Sword blade traps, these little fuckers that whittle you down, and who can forget platforming that relies on flashing objects that almost blend into the scenery. Boy, that sounds familiar. But fighting through these enemies and even this thing that looks like Doom's Eye on steroids, we learn where we are.
Or when we are.
As we find the Statue of Liberty, and the Terror Mask reveals that this is what will happen to the world after Dr. West succeeds with his plan.
You maniac!
The game also keeps you on your toes by throwing a giant mouth at you. Isn't that just a beautiful image?
We're not going in there, are we? Roger!
And what happens to be in the mouth? Only the best level in the game, the Meat Factory. Yeah, gory game with a level called that, what could go wrong? So, what makes this the best level? Well, opening with the tease of the Biggie Man from the original Splatterhouse helps, and having some fun mechanics like fighting in a giant microwave, impaling enemies on spike seas, and abusing the poor frame rate again adds to it. It's a fun pastime.
See, that's the kind of shit that got us an M rating.
You're lucky that you're so damn likable, Terror Mask. Just as likable as this shotgun. Woo, Nelly, is it satisfying? But not as satisfying as the boss. So Rick enters a lift, which plays the ending theme of the original Splatterhouse. You fan service spewing lovely game, you. But then... Biggie Man is back in a side-scrolling boss fight with shotgun versus chainsaws. Holy fuck!
Show him why we call it Splatterhouse.
The second phase goes 3D, and after a number of QuickTime events, Rick rips off one of Biggie Man's arms, and it's a chainsaw duel now! This is the peak of the game, and fan service done right. Hell, how does Rick finish Biggie Man off?
This girl of yours. You once told her you'd love her until the end of the world. It's time to prove it, Rick. The end of the world is coming.
Oh, it's the most beautiful love story ever told. If your partner hasn't ripped off the arm of a giant chainsaw man with the power of the demonic mask, done their ass.
Next level sucks though. Next level really sucks. Bunch of caves, bullshit platforming segment, pulling out giant eyeballs, which that's just gross, that's just nasty. And a puzzle that took me way longer than it should have. It even ends anticlimactically. You fight a giant snake and don't even kill it. The ground gives way during the fight and moves on to the next thing like, whoop, see ya. Maybe they knew they couldn't top the Biggie Man fight, so didn't even bother. The next level, however, takes us through Dr. West's lab, and this is where I realize a horrible truth. You remember the opening where the game threw you attacks you barely used? Turns out you can use them, but the game doesn't tell you. Unless you die. At least the mask insults you when you die. That's nice of him. On the flip side though is that we do get some good conversations between Rick and the mask, involving moral dilemmas and the idea that the mask is just allowing Rick to vent his aggression rather than the mask just giving him all this power. It gives good insight into Rick's character. As we dive further into the lab, we see a giant Cthulhu-esque monster locked up, and...
it never comes up. At all. I thought it was going to be like the final boss or something, but no! Fuck it!
That's not as insane as the boss of the level though, which is a freaking giant electric gorilla.
Now that is a good band name.
And this boss is pretty fun. Outside of the unfair moments where he knocks you off the platform, that feeling of ripping off the pro thingies and beating it to death with it is just so satisfying. Even better since Rick just gets so into it.
Good, doesn't it?
After confronting Dr. West, he teleports Rick away and is sent to a creepy theme park. Oh joy! And of course there are undead clown people. I mean, why wouldn't there be? And it's here that we finally get to finish off the snake from 2 levels ago, and it's beautifully violent.
Sure, it's like Christmas morning.
Rick and the mask also have much more conversation here, which actually proves interesting, especially when we learn that the mask can read Rick's mind and reveals to us that Rick cheated on Jen. I'm a sucker for stories diving into themes of morality, and the mask talk about how a good person could do one bad thing which could be applied vice versa is intriguing, given that we don't quite know where the mask's morality lies. Shame is ruined by this fucking segment! So the game throws a few waves of enemies at you in quick succession, which is when you start begging for blood to heal with. And then if you follow the path with a collectible on it, it takes you back to fight them again. Even worse, if you take the proper route and die on this finicky platforming bit, you have to do the whole segment again. All this effort just for a picture of Jen's boobs.
We got tits! We got tits! Wow!
You know what would be funny? If he made it as far as the butthole enemy.
Oh, Rick, don't put your fist up there!
There it is.
Oh no, what is this? No, I don't want to do that. Why? Well, anyway, the next level takes place in a house of mirrors, which is a pretty good location to trek through. We get puzzles based around finding the right path to take and fighting off mirror versions of Jen, but who else could be the boss of the fight but Mirror Rick? I should just kill myself for making that joke, shouldn't I? Complete with the mask from the original console version of Splatterhouse. God, I love this fan service. It's a fun fight that, while it's not too strenuous, does have the right amount of difficulty. Also, hearing Rick and the mask start to actually get on and make jokes is weirdly engaging. We can also thank this level for being short. After some levels that drag, this is a godsend. Still not sure why the place is called Arkham. That is really throwing me off. Ah, shit. We have to fight the snake again? Alright, let's just get this over with.
Huh. Wonder where I went.
That worm creature is trying to escape by burrowing underground.
And remember how I liked the last level? This is where my fucking rage begins! These fucking red guys. You can't hit these guys. You can't do it because they explode. How, in a fucking beat 'em up, is this an acceptable idea? To get me to think? Is that what you want, Splatterhouse? You want me to think? I just shoved my fist up a monster's butthole. This is hardly the height of intellectual gaming. And it froze. I was so angry, the game froze. Right, come here, game. I'm gonna rip your fucking heart out.
Gooey and lifeless. That's all you are now.
But if you thought that was bullshit, if you really thought, hey, maybe that's as bad as it got, I present you with Phase 10. Rick is teleported to the days of witch burning where he sees Jen is next in line. He rushes to her rescue with a fucking time limit. 3 measly minutes to fight through enemies that swarm you. One fuck up and you just can't get any more hits in. You're done. But hey, at least with each pull through you get a nice segment of falling through. And then back to the time fighting. Why did anyone think this was a good idea? It throws mini bosses at you, overwhelming enemies, and then upon reaching Jen, doesn't tell you what to do while the timer still counts down. And this is on easy. I'm even too angry to make a fucking Wicker Man joke. Fuck off.
Fire them. Fire anyone that said yes to this. And I don't just mean their jobs. I mean literally out of a cannon into the sun.
At least the boss here does have his good moments. Just when Rick thinks Jen didn't make it, all while a sad version of the original game's ending theme plays, she turns into a monster and now Rick has to finish her off. I'm convinced this is a reference to the original's twist. But the twist here though is that Dr. West was watching the whole time. As it turns out, Rick had just killed his wife and this sparked West on his journey of vengeance.
Hear me out.
The next time jump finally gives us the full story, which I will relay to you now. Rick and Jen are visiting the mansion of Dr. West to interview him for their university paper, but upon arriving, Dr. West realizes that Jen is the spitting image of his deceased wife Lenora. He kidnaps Jen, and when Rick tries to defend her, monsters working for West attack him and leave him for dead. In doing so, Rick knocks open a casket containing the Terror Mask and the story begins! As for West's backstory, after his wife died, West's life took a dark turn until he was contacted by an unknown force stating that she doesn't have to die. West explored supernatural ways to resurrect Lenora and succeeded, except for when the town declared her a witch and left her to burn to death. Of course, this changed when Rick was sent back in time and ended up killing her demonic form.
Did you get all that? I made notes for you. I'm actually running an after-school session.
I am so glad they fleshed out the story from the original, but the first time through, boy did it go over my head. Also, going into the game, I was worried the focus would be on the apocalypse and West's plan rather than Rick trying to save Jen. Luckily for the most part, it is Rick's perspective we see, and his bonding with the Terror Mask is definitely where I'm most invested.
But fuck you, because the game gets even harder. I didn't even know that was possible.
Rick enters the penultimate level where we finally catch up to Dr. West.
It's West. No shit.
I love the mask. So West decides to not only throw a snake at you, and not only to throw 2 snakes at you, but also 2 whip guys who basically prove that the QuickTime event system in this game is broken. Doesn't matter what you do, you're fucked. Just as fucked as a section involving 2 shoulder guys and 5 whip guys. Okay, just add more, that's fair. Who needs well-constructed difficulty when all you can do is just add enemies? Let's also add elements with no depth perception or indication to jump. That sounds fun. But hey now, Rick just caught a meteor and that is fucking awesome. Shame the cool moment is ruined by padding, and padding, and padding, and so much padding. And now it's time to come to the worst fucking room in the game. So we have an aged enemy here that protects all enemies and 5 whip guys in a cramped space while the floor starts collapsing. I was on this segment for what felt like an eternity. The times I've been knocked off, the times I've been swarmed and killed, the times I've accidentally run off, the times I just got pummeled. And when you win, the level keeps going.
Ah, the joy of screaming. Screaming? Wait, how far in is he? You! How far in the game is he?
Second last level.
Second last level. Roger, make yourself useful and dispose of him in the basement. Or do you need some motivation?
Well, fuck you.
No! Fuck you!
Dr. West, you have been on this planet for centuries, and that's the best insult you can come up with. Ugh.
Finally, we reached the final level, which sees Dr. West about to sacrifice Jen to the corrupted spirit monster thingies. I don't give a fuck. Rick appears, rips off Dr. West's arm, and tries to save Jen, but now we learn of the mask's true agenda. Turns out he had been using Rick to kill tens of thousands of monsters to summon the corrupted, just so he could kill it himself.
That is so petty and in character, I absolutely love it.
The corrupted have been abusing the mask for generations, so fair game to him for wanting to be that hilariously petty. Heck, I'd probably do the same in that situation too. But now we have to protect Jen while monsters head towards her. Jen? Hey Jen, honey, could you move please? Just scooch to the side or something. That'll make my life a whole lot easier, honey.
Oh yeah, here we go! Okay, let's try that again.
Oh, and after that QuickTime event, the final boss is surprisingly easy. Maybe it's just contrast to the previous levels, but it's kind of anticlimactic.
Or is it? Yeah, it probably is.
Upon defeating the corrupted, the souls burst out as Rick tries to remove the mask, who informs Rick that he can't until Jen is safe and sound, as was agreed.
Our deal was to save Jen, and she's safe now.
You sure our deal's over, Ricko?
Rick, darling. It's good to be back.
Inspector Gadget, Nezuru's Revenge, Deadly Creatures, Fantastic Four. I sure know how to pick some anticlimactic endings, don't I?
But to be completely fair, this is definitely a remake of Splatterhouse. Not a reboot or a reimagining, a remake. Which means the twist was kind of a foregone conclusion. But at least the original had an ending. This just stops. I was expecting a fight against Jen or Dr. West, but nope, cliffhanger that'll never be resolved. Yay!
Ah, you wanted a sequel, didn't you? Well, so did I. But you're not getting one.
And that brings us to the end of Splatterhouse. While the last few levels of the game brought out the deep dark rage inside of me, it shouldn't take away from the fact that I did generally enjoy this game for the most part. It's no masterpiece, but the fact that it exists at all is a blessing. I can only recommend it to the most die-hard Splatterhouse fans, but luckily for newbies, you can actually unlock the original Splatterhouse trilogy right here. That's all 4 Splatterhouse games on one disc. Oh my god, all that fan service is enough to make a man go.
And since I've now just wasted my time with that, I might want to break out of here. I knew I should have made Mewtwo get that wine.
Ah, that was a fun day, I'll tell you.
I can imagine. More wine?
It's alright, buddy. I get it. Hey, you know the arm was your own fault.
Well now, this scrawny guy wants a taste of me, huh?
Phrasing?
Maybe. Maybe not. They'll be like paper people. Get to it, man. Ooh, I've waited a long time for this. Oh, yes! This gonna be good. Oh.
I thought I got rid of this. You know, I'm kind of glad you broke out. You get to see my plan unfold firsthand.
Trust me, it wasn't a conscious choice.
You know what's in here?
I don't freaking know, like, one pack of graffiti?
An amazing power source. Strong enough to bring to life those who sleep within the earth.
If there's anything that powerful, we certainly haven't found that human race. I mean, we can't even get a good Fantastic Four film. I mean, how hard should that be?
A power your kind created but never harnessed. A power so powerful.
Biothesaurus!
The power of bad Sonic games.
What? What?
This will be cathartic.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Think about what you're doing. Ah, crap.
Titans within the earth shall rise and wipe out the scum on this planet.
Oh Christ, how long have we got?
About 8 hours.
Oh.
It's a big planet to get through.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Although... this one's new. If I'm lucky, it could speed up the process. You, nerding person. Let me know if this one goes in or not.
Well, Sonic Mania did fucking spectacularly, which meant that all eyes were on Sonic Team's next big project, Sonic Forces. It's been a roller coaster of hype ranging from, look at this fan service, to why has the demo got a time limit? But the time has finally come for Sonic Forces to take the stand. Let's see what Sonic Team has been working on since 2013.
Please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck.
It probably will.
So to instantly set the tone, the game does that whole dramatic white text on black background thing, followed by menu music that could rival Halo. Compared to the whimsical upbeat music from previous games, this is one hell of a shift in tone, which is pushed further by the game's story. We open in Eggman's lair, where he declares that he's put all his hatred of Sonic into one big project, which sure looks familiar. And just like that, we get into the first level, which returns us to the boost gameplay Unleashed Colors and Generations gave us. Instantly, the game looks gorgeous. I mean, not as gorgeous as Sonic Unleashed, but hey, it's a step up from this. This is the first time we've seen Sonic on this generation of consoles, and it shows. The crispness of models and the vibrant colors are just, so good. As for the gameplay itself, it's fine. It sure is a lot more automated than previous games, but later levels do feature some split paths that allow for replayability, just so you can explore all the parts of each level. Sonic arrives in the city.
Just the city. No name or anything. That's pure imagination right there.
And rescues Tails and some civilians from Eggman's attack. It's here that one thing I've been missing from Sonic games comes back, and it's actual cinematography. It's no masterpiece of cinema, but every game since Colors has just had characters standing around and making jokes. In Forces though, stuff actually happens, all with a variety of camera angles. This is shown off well when not just Shadow, not just Metal Sonic, not just Zavok, but also frickin' Chaos all appear, along with a new villain called Infinite, who then proceed to royally kick Sonic's ass. And then...
oh my god, he did it. He actually did it. Eggman won. Sonic's dead. All hail the Eggman Empire.
In the fallout of this, Knuckles rallies together the other supporting characters, except Blaze apparently. Seriously, where the fuck is she?
The resistance in the city is reporting that whatever it is that finished Sonic. Sorry, I'm still not used to saying that.
I'm sorry. The fuck you just say?
Yeah, that's the tone we're going for today. Sonic and friends at war. Apparently even Tails has lost it. Jesus Christ.
None of this is good, Vector. That's why it's called war.
But now we come to the big selling point of the game, creating your own character. I absolutely love this feature. For their first attempt at custom characters, there's quite a few options to choose from, and you can create a wide variety of different characters, even if some of them look questionable. But I've settled on this guy. I shall call him Tommy the Hedgehog. Tommy the Hedgehog. He had to make a comeback at some point.
Here, kid, take this. We're depending on you.
Yeah, nice one, Knuckles.
Here, new kid, have this deadly weapon.
We're thrown onto the map screen and holy shit, the music! That's the kind of music I want to die to. Which leads me to a complaint about Sonic Forces. As incredible as the map music is, the rest of the soundtrack is incredibly polarizing. Some levels feature excellent music that'll stick with me like any other Sonic game, but others are just the worst. Classic Sonic levels are on par with the LEGO Dimensions versions of the Sonic songs. In fact, I think LEGO Dimensions might sound better. But the thing that bugs me the most about it is that Sonic Forces and Sonic Colors really need to swap their soundtracks. Forces, featuring a darker, more serious story about frickin' war, is filled with electronic synth music. The music in Tommy's level sounds like something out of frickin' DDR. While Sonic Colors, a fun, kooky space adventure, went for a grand orchestral score. Why? It works so much better the other way around. Sega got the bloody London Symphony Orchestra to do music such as the map screen and avatar screen, but I don't remember hearing any more. Put a gun to my head and I could barely have a level tune from this game. Well, except for one, but oh-ho, we'll get to that.
Well, you heard the man. Roger, get your gun.
I'm sorry, you have a gun?
Yeah. But the next level reveals that Sonic is alive, and well, I mean, you put him on the cover, I don't know what to expect. So we get to see Tomy in action, and you know what? Tomy features my favorite gameplay style. While Sonic's boosting is satisfying and exhilarating, it is very generous with giving you boosting power. Tomy though goes through similarly designed levels but with no reliance on boosting. It's a decent level of speed, and the Wispen weapons make for some fun gameplay. My only complaint is goddamn do they control like a brick when they jump. That goes for you too, Sonic! And you might think, well, aren't most levels just running and fighting your way to the end with the occasional automated bit? Well, yeah, most. But those moments that rely on specific jumps and precise movement, you will die. A lot. Luckily, there are a lot of well-placed checkpoints, so I guess they knew that?
Wait, so they knew I was going to die there a lot, but never stopped to ask why I died there a lot. Is that good game design? I don't think that's good game design.
Tomy manages to reach a spaceship so they can reach the Death Egg where Sonic is being held captive. We suddenly go back to the city where Tails is failing to fix Omega.
So you're basically saying my favorite character is dead. Thank you for that.
But suddenly Chaos emerges and tries to attack Tails. Luckily, out of nowhere, classic Sonic appears straight from the ending of Sonic Mania. Don't believe me? They even add the theme song of Sonic Mania. That is a freaking great addition right there. Also, do I need to point out the fact that Tails is scared to fight Chaos Zero when he previously took down Chaos 4? He's lost it and thinks his friend is dead. I'll let it slide.
So if you like Chaos, that's it for him. Seriously, he never shows up again outside of being in the background.
What? And now we get to play as classic Sonic and... Fucking Christ, where do I begin? Simply put, classic Sonic is fucking atrocious. Like, what the hell were they thinking with any of this? He's slower than Silver in Sonic 06. He drops like a fucking rock when falling. His rolling gets barely any extra speed. And the drop dash, the precious drop dash that made Sonic Mania a blast to play, is dragged down by this terrible, clunky, slow control. You can almost hear the poor drop dash trying to make this level fun. Okay, here's a rap, let's do this at... Okay, enough of this shit. As Tomy races through the Death Egg, Sonic is being taunted by Zavok, but through Tomy's intervention, the prison security is shut down, allowing Sonic to escape. And may I just say, this shot right here, that is Sonic. I haven't seen him like that since the days of Unleashed and Black Knight. The cocky yet brave persona in the face of adversity. And said adversity is our first boss fight with Zavok, who has decided to trade his epic giant dragon robot for... bees. Robot bees. You're lovely. What the fuck am I watching? But the problem with stiff jumping controls comes back since this fight is reliant on the homing attack. But because turning in the air is so stiff, you will miss plenty of openings. But he's pretty easy outside of that, which leads to a revelation. Zavok is a hologram.
Well, the Chaos fans got the short end of the stick. Do the Zavok fans too?
I didn't know he had fans.
Doesn't matter, he's done.
Yep, out of those 4 villains brought back, 2 are done already and we're only 5 levels in. What? Can they really pull back from that? Well, yes, because the next level is brilliant. Egg Gate sees Sonic escaping the Death Egg, which involves speeding through the interior, complete with the red eye from Sonic and Knuckles in the background, grinding on the outside, dodging Eggman's robots in space, and even catching a ride on spaceships while dodging laser fire. It's a spectacle and the scale of this level is great. They may be QuickTime events, but I love these cinematic moments. Both Sonic and Tomy go through these and they are just so cool to watch. While Tomy is cornered in the Death Egg, Sonic jumps in to save him, and my god is it surreal to see my own character interacting with Sonic. I fucking love it. Even better since this leads to our first tag team level as Sonic and Tomy break through Eggman's fortress in Green Hill. I thought I would hate this level. The contrasting insane speed of Sonic with the slower combat focus of Tomy, that's terrible. But the Wispons allow for fast-paced combat and the level has a stronger focus on platforming with the duo jumping from gear to gear.
Well, I'm a sucker for gear-based action sequences, so you got me there.
The castle of Cagliostro, the Great Mouse Detective, and now Sonic is going through them. Shame about the jumping controls. skills? Trust me, that's gonna come up a lot. In this level though, we are introduced to one thing, and that is the theme of the game, Fist Bump. Holy crap, I freaking love this song. It plays whenever Sonic and Tommy do their boost move, which still works even when you fail the button prompt. Good design there. And it's already become one of my favorite Sonic themes. While the singing is less than perfect, the epic sound, the mix of instruments, and the lyrics make for a song that'll make you, well, want a fist bump.
Together we can show the world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Push me on through until the battle's won.
But the rebellion catches word of Infinite fighting Silver in the forest, so Sonic boosts on through a level that features actual alternate paths, fighting a giant snake from the inside, but relies too much on speed and features way too many 2D segments. Look, we had Sonic Mania for a 2D fix, just give me more 3D! Upon arriving after Silver actually gets to do something for the first time in 11 years, we finally get to meet Infinite, and yeah, I actually really like him.
You may call me Infinite in the brief moments that remain to you.
Well, he certainly sounds familiar.
It helps that the dialogue in this game is a huge step up from previous games. It feels much more natural in conversations and, dear God, some jokes actually land.
You reek of fear.
That's not fear. I ran all the way over here.
Hell, they even threw an Infamous theme, which is excellent, so this whole cutscene left a big smile on my face. Although I'm going to ignore the fact that this is the only time Infamous theme is heard, with dialogue and sound effects over it.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
At least it's followed by a pretty fun boss. I did wonder how much mileage you can get out of boost gameplay for bosses, but so far Zavok and Infinite are very different.
You're not even worth the effort to finish off.
Why, that's as contrived as you letting me live past the Splatterhouse episode.
Don't tempt me.
Oh, but I bet I'm not worth the effort.
Shit, he got me.
Well, maybe not the worst, because, oh yeah, classic Sonic's in this game. I forgot about that, but hey, as bland as his Green Hill level was, the boss fight against Eggman is fun. Firstly, look at Eggman's face. Ha! Hilarious! Secondly, the fight starts off against the classic Sonic 1 boss fight.
Well, they did that in Sonic Mania. I'm not falling for that again. Oh, that'll do it.
And remember how epic the Egg Dragoon fight was in Sonic Unleashed, with you tearing it to shreds while falling to the center of the earth? Now you just dodge his gun and hit rocks in its face. To be fair, I guess since Eggman's won, I suppose he doesn't need to make any more machines. Now, one complaint people bring up is that the level choice is incredibly lazy since it's just Green Hill Zone. Again. And Chemical Plant Zone. Again. I mean, a game with the city is a worry, but I think, given that they bring up Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes and the fact that older levels have been redone to convey the damage of Eggman's takeover, it's nice to see Sonic Team tackle actual continuity and establishing these levels as actual locations in the world of Sonic. After bouncing through an incredibly confusing and empty casino level, Tails and Classic Sonic meet up with Toby, who finds one of the prototype Phantom Rubies. This is of course after a fun water slide level. I like it. They return to base and Sonic and Tails reunite.
It's been generations since I seen you.
So, with the full team reunited, it's time to track down Shadow in the city, and I actually have fun with this level. The city's streets are perfect for blasting through enemies, and the environment is just great to look at. After reaching Shadow, he charges at Sonic while All Hail Shadow plays in the background, only to be kicked in the face by the real Shadow, who reveals that all the villains working for Eggman are all clones made by Infinite. That means Zavok, Shadow, Metal Sonic, yes, even the fucking robot doppelganger, and especially Chaos are fakes.
That is bullshit. That's like if Ignitus came around that corner and turned out to be like a robot or something. Yeah, we couldn't get him back. He's a busy man.
I mean it. All that hype built up about these villains coming back, and it amounts to nothing. You have motivations for them to join Eggman's setup beautifully. Zavok wants revenge on Sonic for killing the Deadly Six. Chaos was angered by the disruption of time by the Phantom Ruby, which is in the bloody comic. And Shadow is A, a spy, and B, his best friend is beyond repair. So it makes sense to join up with the one guy who bloody invented him.
Shadow, if I was murdered by a man in a mask, would you do whatever you could to save me?
Probably not.
Bullshit!
The time has come for the rebellion to take the battle to Metropolis, which looks amazing. I love futuristic city designs, and this one is especially nice. Which of course leads to one of my favorite levels, which sees Tommy racing through as normal until suddenly Infinite appears and takes over the rest of the level. That is a great level twist, which I really didn't see coming. He proceeds to fuck with gravity, follow you around the level, force you to run around the sides of buildings, and create these freaky elongated versions of himself.
Yeah, I bet you can't do that. Well, that shut me up.
And it's here that Tommy comes face to face with Infinite. Infinite recognizes him as a member of the rebellion whose entire squad was killed by his own hand during the war, and
this is a Sonic game I'm talking about, right?
Now it's Tommy's turn to fight Infinite, which continues the trend of having each boss fight be different from one another, which is something I have to actually applaud the game for. I'm actually surprised given how samey some of the other gameplay is. It's also interesting to see the effect different Wispons have on him, with my go-to electric whip doing very little damage while the asteroid gun does significantly more. That, combined with different parts being available depending on which Wispon you go with, it does make you want to try out the different Wispons available. It's more for just replayability and variety. In order to survive against Infinite, Tommy makes use of the prototype Phantom Ruby you picked up earlier.
Let them contemplate the inevitable, till I end this once and for all.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Next level is classic Sonic and Chemical Plant. I don't care because it's insane to see the contrast of gameplay. Modern Sonic is so action-packed and intense, it's like... But because classic Sonic is so slow and clunky, you suddenly shift to... It's here we learn exactly what the Phantom Ruby does. Rather than simply change the world around it as Mania implies, it instead messes with your senses and perception through the use of illusions, which just begs the question, does that mean Sonic wasn't actually going through classic levels in Sonic Mania? Was he just tripping? But speaking of Mania, we get to fight against a giant metal Sonic and yeah, it's fucking awesome. The sound design, the environment, the attacks flying everywhere, and that awesome remix of the American version of Sonic CD's Stardust Speedway. It's just great. And after seeing Sonic and Tommy team up to take down a frickin' Death Egg robot and also manage to chase down Metal Sonic and kick his ass together, you know what I'm thinking?
Fuck Sonic and Tails. I much prefer Sonic and Tommy. It's probably blasphemous to say, but
Oh, shit! I sensed you were in trouble.
Oh, I am, but you don't have to worry about it.
Why?
Yeah, we just needed a familiar face to plaster all over the, the posters and the trailers to make it seem like you have an important role.
That sounds like a terrible thing to do.
Oh. It is. So, see you later?
Yeah, I guess. Me and Caliburn just started watching Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, nice.
This is an important conversation right now.
No.
Now you might think, well that scene was pointless, but that completely sums up Classic Sonic's role in this game. Not only does he control like shit, but his role amounts to nothing but a marketing gimmick that's riding off the success of Generations and Mania. He saves Tails from the start, runs around a bit, and that's it. Based on the locations he goes through, he could easily be replaced by a playable Tails. It would make much more sense, and it would allow him to develop from being scared of chaos to helping fight against Eggman's army. That and the slower gameplay style will allow for his flight ability to be used as a substitute. Is there also an irony to the fact that I'm bringing this up in the wake of his best level that actually has some fun ideas in level design? Yes, but
too little too late, Sega.
So what does this level amount to? Well, after Sonic breaks through the chemical plant to find the computer room, double points for the Shadow DLC, he turns the Death Egg's defenses off and Classic Sonic somehow blows it up. It's not really shown how. It's almost like if it was Tails instead, that would make much more sense because of his technology stuff.
So that's what, like the 4th Death Egg that's been destroyed? You better take note, Evil McEvil Man.
So after a level that features actual platforming challenges for Sonic, he catches up to Eggman, where I actually find it kind of funny the contrast between Infinite and Orbot and Cubot. It's like the two sides of the Sonic franchise.
What is that? That, my spiky little friend, is null space. A closed-off space where absolutely nothing exists.
And right as Sonic is about to be dragged in, Tommy appears and tries to rescue him, however they both end up being sucked in. That right there is an example of why I prefer Sonic and Tommy. You didn't see Tails fly in to try and save Sonic, Tommy did. Now the duo are trapped inside null space, which is a seemingly endless dimension of nothingness with no hope of escape.
Now you might think this might just freak the heroes out, but actually...
You again!
Great hiatus?
What part of Halloween Special did you not understand?
So, do we wait for him to come back, or can I finish waking them up?
Nya.
Oh, well, the Great Hiatus teleported me away, but I just said, nah, and left.
because that's really what it takes for Sonic and Toby to break out. Just perform the double boost and they're safe and sound. Now normally I'd complain that they wasted the null space idea and their great music, but I can't, because I fucking love this level. Null space is probably my favorite level as it focuses heavily on grinding through the beautiful Metropolis setting. We get good dialogue with Sonic communicating with the others. The tag team gameplay is used expertly here with Tommy's whip sweeping through crowds of robots, and Sonic's homing attack keeping them on the path with multiple areas to go. And the best part of all is that the music is the second half of Fist Bump. The way that Null Space's music, which is the solemn piano bridge of Fist Bump, flows into the rest of the song after exiting Null Space just makes me giddy. But not quite as giddy as the next level, which opens with the frickin' war itself. This sees Knuckles' rebellion stand off against Infinite's clone army. And oh my god, it's like something out of frickin' Lord of the Rings. Look, Knuckles is fighting. Rouge, Espio, Amy, fuck, even Charmy are kicking ass. And it gets better when...
And as for how Omega got fixed, Donkey Kong probably did it.
This is what I wanted from Sonic Forces. All these heroes versus all these villains. Sure, they're all clones, and I completely forgot Chaos was supposed to be in this, but I can believe, just for a second, that it's really them. So with the Rebellion right where he wants them, what's Eggman's big plan to wipe them out?
The sun will fall upon you all. Boom. The end.
The sun? The frickin' sun? Do you have a son?
No.
Eggman does!
So in this game, the plot sees a masked villain gifted with phenomenal power plot to drop something from our solar system onto the planet in just 3 days. Am I talking about Sonic Forces or Majora's Mask? Anyway, back to the game, which sees Tails spur Tommy into using the power of the prototype Phantom Ruby to make the sun disappear. While this level is tough probably due to the stiff platforming again, having the wall jump back, which is super fast, the epic sense of scale and the great music makes this feel like we are truly building towards the climax. Tommy manages to destroy Infinite's sun, much to Eggman's shock, and I'm really starting to feel for the guy. All that time and effort wasted, which means the Rebellion can make the final push, leading to probably the most well-designed level in the game. It features proper 3D platforming, plenty of options in terms of getting through the level, secret areas only accessible through certain moves, and just a greater feeling of exploration. You feel like you can actually slow down and take your time with this level. Sure, you could just boost through, but having the option to really get the 3D platforming feel down is noteworthy. But now it's time to take on Infinite once again, and after all the unique and diverse boss fights we've had, it's literally just the same as Metal Sonic. Like, pretty much identical. The only real saving grace is Sonic and Infinite's banter, and halfway through the fight, Tommy swings in to team up with Sonic, who easily kicked the shit out of Infinite. This is the same guy who destroyed Sonic at the start, right?
Impossible. I cannot be defeated.
Wrong, loser. The things that can't be defeated are heart, soul, and the bonds of friendship.
But what happens to Infinite? Well, he starts fizzing out like the clones and runs away.
Guess what I'm gonna say?
I don't know, what are you gonna say?
Take a wild guess.
That's it for Infinite?
That's it for Infinite.
I mean it. This is really the last time we see Infinite. We don't know if he just ran away, was teleported by Eggman, faded away, or if that was even the real Infinite. He gets no closure, and that is a huge disappointment. But you might also think we get no reveal of who he is. Luckily, the free DLC episode Shadow fills us in. Infinite, who's a jackal by the way, was actually the leader of a mercenary group hired by Eggman to defend his lair. After Shadow tests through them and kicks his ass, this drives him to vow to never be humiliated again and uses the Phantom Ruby to power himself up. He is essentially Crossbones from the Captain America movies, and I actually really like this backstory for him. He isn't some tragic soul burned by Eggman's experiments. He's just a petty mercenary with an inferiority complex. His calm yet cocky mannerisms throughout the main game are made in contrast to his former self's insecurity. It's nice to see Sonic Team actually take the time to flesh out one of their villains, which they haven't really done since Sonic and the Black Knight.
Alright, we get it. Just get on with the next level.
Alright, okay, so the next level is nope.
Sonic and Tommy get an excellently designed action level which sees them charging through the facility, which is filled with traps and enemies, and destroy the reactor, causing the whole thing to explode. Seeing your own character running from an explosion with the help of Sonic, all while Fist Bump plays, that's what dreams are made of. Now it's time to take on the final boss, which is Death Egg Robot? You sure about that? I mean, it's hardly the most original final.
That is not a Death Egg robot. Jesus Christ!
What have you done?
I merely incorporated the Phantom Ruby into this Death Egg robot.
That means the Phantom Ruby no longer has a vulnerable energy supply.
A good deduction test.
Tell you what, Eggman has really outdone himself. I am proud of him. He's come far.
Let's get him.
I guess Tails doesn't feel like helping. Character derailment at its finest. So the final battle is played out in 3 phases, each representing the 3 playstyles. The first one is Classic Sonic, which is just a harder version of Egg Dragoon, where Eggman can now take out the platforms. So you have to choose whether to go for the boulder or just stay safe. Challenging, but a rehash. Tommy's boss is just a harder version of Zavok, except this time instead of unreliable homing attacks, Tommy can use his Wisp-On to deal more consistent damage. It's more about avoiding the falling platform. Works better, but a rehash. But now we reach the final battle, which sees not just Sonic, nor just Sonic and Tommy, but Sonic, Tommy, and Classic Sonic all boosting towards Eggman's robot, which looks familiar. At least the music is bloody fantastic. It's a fittingly tough fight, but still a rehash. What is happening? At least we get to finish it off with a triple boost.
Yeah, Tommy's more important than Tails.
And at last we reach the ending of the game. With the Phantom Ruby destroyed and Eggman weirdly absent. Hope we didn't kill him. Classic Sonic is transported back to his own significantly better universe.
Cheer up, Tails. I'm sure we'll run into him again.
Wow, that moment really wasn't earned. If Classic Sonic did anything of worth and I didn't dread every level with him, I would feel something. Now I'm thinking, bye, don't come back. Also, this was the fist bump moment the song was building up to. When the song was first revealed, I thought it would be between Sonic and Classic Sonic. Then as we learnt more about the plot, I thought it was going to be Sonic and Tommy. And even one point, Tommy and Infinite based on a really good fan theory. But
Classic Sonic and Tails? How out of nowhere is that?
Oh, I know.
Come on, I just got to the episode with the corgi.
Dude! Okay, bye.
Is that it?
That's all I needed.
Okay.
Is he alright?
Yeah, he just wanted a fist bump.
A fist bump?
Yeah.
And he didn't ask me?
And why do you think that is?
Oh, of course.
Yes?
I'm the new guy.
That must be it.
So with Classic Sonic gone, Sonic declares it's time for the heroes to clean up the world that had just been ravaged by Eggman, leading up to the credits, which plays actually a really nice song called Light of Hope. After the credits though, we get closure for Tommy because, come on, you really think Sonic Team would keep this gimmick around forever? Who decides to leave the group in order to help more people after Eggman's attack. He has one last moment with Sonic and the duo part ways in an exit that I feel is actually earned. I truly do think Sonic and Tommy have had a better team dynamic than Sonic and Tails have had for years, and Tommy never said a word. Will I miss him? Yes. Yes, I will. But we have finally come to the end of Sonic Forces. All in all, it's really hard to tell, honestly. There is so much good here, but there's also plenty of what were they thinking moments in regard to plot elements. And fucking classic Sonic. However, since I find myself replaying levels, especially after the Shadow DLC was released, I'd say Sonic Forces is still a good time. Is it technically disappointing? Yeah. Mainly because I was expecting a much grander plot with some actual character development, but as is, it's fine. Has flaws, has highlights. Sonic Forces is fine.
Okay, so how long was that?
About 7 hours.
No, but I've done like all the DLC and the missions and everything.
Yeah. 7 hours.
Well, at least it's longer than Sonic Generations.
Time's up anyway, and you made it very vague. So I ask you now, does it go in?
Well, I don't think it's quite as simple as that. Oh my god, is that Andrew Gold?
What? Whoa, 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 whoa. We have no idea what'll happen if you... Ah, crap.
Don't mess with the power of subjectivity.
What?
They want me not to do this.
What are you doing? I will give you the chance!
Ah, you stupid fuck!
Motherfucker! Wow! Oh god!
God.
Christmas? Christmas?
Christmas.
Soundproofing room.
Okay. I just gotta recap so I haven't gone insane. Okay. Splatterhouse. Sonic Forces. Yeah. Nautilus. Probably dead. Roger. I remember exactly what's in that present. So back on December 25th, 2003, I got my very first console, the GameCube. With it came Mario Kart Double Dash, the Zelda Collector's Edition, and of course, Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Now the first two became instant classics for me, with Double Dash and Majora's Mask being my favourites in those franchises, but Quidditch World Cup was probably the one I've played the least. So let's reminisce in this Christmas special, definitely a Christmas special, I recorded this in winter, that's good enough for me, and take a look at the Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. In case you're wondering how I reviewed games and forts and shit. So, being a delightful and quirky game of the Quidditch, what better way to open them with violence, drama, intensity, and goddamn Mad Max music? But despite this freaking awesome intro, well, as awesome as a wimpy slap fight and this dead guy, it ends really abruptly with this delightful face. Be prepared because there's a lot of that in this game. We jump into the menu and... What witchcraft is this? The menu's only controlled by the D-pad? When has a GameCube game ever needed the D-pad? I mean, it's not complaining or anything, it's just a weird observation. Anyway, let's dive into Hogwarts where Harry Potter himself guides us through the ins and outs of Quidditch. But he seems off to me.
Your team should have enough skills to compete in the Hogwarts Quidditch Cup. Who knows? You might even win it.
Might win. No guarantees, no promises, and no points to Gryffindor. Despite his creepy face and the constant leaning in, the tutorial continues where we get to meet Wood from the first film and
Great hootin' Scottish scariness.
Picnic! Right, can't ignore this. What is with the character models? Why are they so creepy? Something about the eyes or the mouths or just I wouldn't be surprised if they were constructed in some kind of Sims engine, and since this is EA, that's definitely in the realm of possibility. But just like in the film, Woods teaches us about how Quidditch works. Except why are we doing this with a full audience? That's gotta be a waste of time for them. Oh, here we go. He's showing him the quaffle. Oh my god, he's talking to him.
A game of Quidditch only ends when the snitch is caught.
And it's good!
And permit me to dissect something like who allowed bludgers? Really? They always freaked me out as a kid because they were sentient, hard objects that would break through wood. One misstep and they could kill you. Crotch shot! And of course there's the golden snitch, the ultimate in game breaking techniques. Catch this and that's what? 150 points? Well, that could really screw over the other team who are probably working really, really hard. Well, it's time to pick a house now, but according to Pottermore, I'm in Slytherin. You're not surprised. But the thing about Slytherin, though, is that Malfoy is a lot more supportive and confident than Harry is.
We're going to have to teach you how to compete. Come on, let's meet the rest of the finest team at Hogwarts.
I always thought Slytherin had a hidden nice side, even if they are a dreary looking bunch. Gotta have those Slytherin teeth, huh? At least we have Malfoy's slick hair on our side. We can't lose! And besides that, it was either Draco Malfoy, Harry Potter, that one, and this person. So under the watchful eyes of Slytherin, we get to have proper tests with the game mechanics rather than just one big-eyed Scottish one-shot character monologuing at me. This involves passing, tackling, catching the snitch, using bludgers, and shooting into the rings. We even get to face Clogs the Ghost. Oh my, oh how dapper, oh me my. Along the way, we unlock cards that are just like the ones you'll find in Harry Potter lore. And that's actually a sweet addition. I've always loved those cards, so having these as collectible adds to the replayability.
I'm an expert at catching the snitch, and I'll teach you how to be almost as good as I am.
But I'm controlling you. Well, we've learnt the basics, so it's time to step into the Hogwarts Quidditch Cup. Our first match is against Ravenclaw in a very snowy pitch. See, it is Christmassy. In a big showdown between Malfoy and that girl. Oh wait, is that supposed to be Cho Chang? It was 2003, I don't know who the fuck she was. Give me a break. And we're off in our first match, and you know what? It's actually pretty fun. The speed of jumping from player to player, the satisfaction of scoring points, hitting bludgers into people, the showboating, the fist bumps, and of course the attempted murder. So the way to win is to pass the quaffle up the pitch and throw it directly into one of the hoops. After a certain point, the golden snitch bar will meet in the middle, and then seekers have to catch said snitch to end the game. Simple? Let's go with that for now. The next match pits up against Hufflepuff, headed by Elijah Wood. This is also when I start to make use of the special moves. These basically secure you a free point, with no chance of the keepers getting in the way.
Falcon Punch!
Yeah, not so much special move, more slightly above average. Ignoring the very puffy Crab and Goyle, enjoy your futures. Notice something odd? Notice something very unbalanced and one-sided? Yeah, the golden snitch, but really I beat Hufflepuff by 540-0.
Slytherin's the best.
Honestly, I'm hard-pressed to disagree with you there. You're destroying the competition. You're also showing good sportsmanship. Slytherin clearly respects sport more than these losers. There's only one house left, which means we have to face Potter. And boy is Harry kind of a jerk in this game. He comes off as a smug prick and displays poor sportsmanship. But to their credit, they scored at least 2 points. No, that's good. Just a bit off my score, but good for you. So while Potter has his hissy fit, thanks to Malfoy's very slick win, Slytherin are crowned Hogwarts champions and has Snape killed Dumbledore yet? Just take the trophy and leave. Now we've unlocked the main attraction, the Quidditch World Cup, which, thank God, because I never want to see Dumbledore ever again. Once again, we pick our team, and of course it has to be merry old England. There's actually a nice variety, such as Germany, Australia, and Japan. The only locked team is Bulgaria, being the kings of Quidditch, but that doesn't mean you have to shame me for being curious. Hey, fuck you, man. We go into our first match against France, following in the lead of our Seeker Tracer, and we're also introduced to our commentator Ludo Bagman, who sounds just a bit too much like Bane.
Hello there, everyone. This is Ludo Bagman speaking to you from the Australian National Quidditch Stadium.
This bomb is armed. This bomb is mobile!
But now that we're in a proper game, I'm noticing that there's no time limit or point threshold, which means that the only way to win is to catch the snitch. As a result, you can get matches which end with you winning 870-40, all because there's no limit. All that matters is getting the snitch bar to meet in the middle, which means matches can go on, and on, and on. I mean, it's still the same fun gameplay, but damn, you get sick after a while. I just want to see the other teams and pitches. And speaking of pitches, we mighty English really suck. This is our pitch. You know, simple, content, some may even say boring. Now here's Japan, and Germany, and Spain, and to really hammer in the Christmassiness, the Nordic team. But us, we get a field, I guess. Christ, even the sky is terrible. Aurora Borealis, grey clouds, just like real life. You also want to know why we suck? So each team has a unique special move, and ours is pretty cool. But then you see what the other teams do. When you use England's special, you get 1 free point, but other teams can get as many as 2 or even 3. Talk about unfair and borderline racism. Oh, you picked English in this Harry Potter game? Why, you're no better than Hufflepuff. Oh. After beating France and Germany, Australia is next, and these matches are really getting long. They're really starting to get half an hour long, and you want to know why? Because it's pretty dumb. The better you play, the longer the game goes on for? Because playing well should be punished. Quick, let's go storm Billy Mitchell's house and hang him by the socket! It doesn't help that with every special move or special tackle, I don't know what that's called, you knock their snitch bar back down or vice versa. I truly mean it when I say the better you play, the longer you make the match, which basically means the other team will go out of their way to make you look bad. Look, I can take them getting points and even me losing, except that has yet to happen. Ever. But making me look bad in front of Ludo Bane Bagman? That's too far. Also, a replay system would really be nice. There are some cool combos you can pull off, and I wish to relive my glory. Next up is France. Again? All these teams and we're already facing them again? Now it's time for Le France Rage. Yeah, I'm sure the fans are going to kick out the variety of co-commentators, which I'm guessing are from Harry Potter lore. Like this frumpy little man. Well, Japan is next, and like everything else, they're probably better than us. Awesome pitch? Check. Cool highlights in their hair? Check. Actually being able to score points? Check-a-rooney. But boy, I wish I could skip the specials. I get it, you're cooler than us. Stop rubbing it in my face and making the match go on for longer, you goddamn herbs lookalikes. Let's get it started. You know what's sad? As fun as it was, this is getting kind of boring. This match is still going. They're down by 500 points. Any referee can tell you that we're guaranteed to win even if they get the snitch. And speaking of the snitch, will you hurry up and meet already? The snitch bar is like those two friends you have with that sexual tension, the romantic tension between them. Like you just want to stand up and just yell, kiss already. But they never do. The snitch is such a prude. Okay, we won, obviously. But for this next match, I'm just gonna not do anything. Let's see what happens. I won. Also, who fetches the quaffle? Like, it goes really far through the hoops. Is that someone's job? I legitimately want to know. Only on this game can I do nothing and still win.
This game is exceeding all my expectations!
Then you must have low expectations. The next match is against Spain? Dear God, a new team! Never thought I'd see the day complete with their own angry, bold ref. Where was he in the films? No. What happens if I just do that and nothing else? 5 minutes! The match took 5 minutes! We went from half an hour to 5 minutes just by doing this! The Simpsons football technique works! But hey, we get to see what America's pitch looks like, and this is just someone's garden, isn't it? Complete with barn and spooky pumpkins. After facing off against the likes of the Nordic team and Japan again, we finally get to face off against the kings of Quidditch themselves, Bulgaria. Dear God. Bulgaria. The kings! I don't know if I can handle it.
Oh no, I'm passing the ball around.
The greatest Quidditch team ever. Beaten by simple passing.
Bullshit!
This is it. The final match of the World Cup. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion as it was 10 matches ago. But now we get to see Bulgaria's arena, which is fucking cool. Look at this place. They really are an intense bunch. No wonder they're the unlockable team. It's a fitting final match, except for the fact that I'll just do this.
And I just realised, where does one buy a snitch? Because they're clearly sentient beings. So is that like, do you buy them from a sports shop or a pet shop? I need answers.
But with that, we finally won the tournament. England is the greatest Quidditch team around. The numbers don't lie. So the big man himself gives us one hell of a trophy and interesting lip syncing.
It is with great pleasure that I award this year's Quidditch World Cup to England!
Also, you're not the captain. What happened to Tracer? Anyway, any inspiring words for your monumentous victory? Our reward for beating the tournament is a new mode called Quidditch?
Listen, Harry Potter's set in a different era. The 90s, but it's different.
And this mode amounts to playing in a special pitch, which is a marsh located near Manchester.
Thrilling.
Which in canon is the site of the very first game of Quidditch, which is actually a pretty cool reward now I think about it. Clearly the developers care a lot about Harry Potter lore, and the attention to detail is great. But after watching the World Cup in person, has Slytherin learned anything from the greats?
Yes! Pass that quaffle! Boom!
After this technique was established, the game of Quidditch changed forever. Team after team continued this legacy until the rules of Quidditch were brought into question. Eventually, the game was ruled out and was lost to time itself.
Congratulations, EA! You killed Quidditch. Well, that's one way to kill a few hours. But I might want to get out of here. I don't want everyone waking up and seeing a random guy in their living room who looks so homeless he was once mistaken for homeless by a friendly Christian couple at a film festival. True story. Wow! The game dragged on that much my watch managed to charge up fully. Well, actually, no, saying that, the tracking's a bit fucked. It's gonna take a few jumps to get back. Better than nothing. Merry Christmas. This is gonna be long-winded.
Well, I woke up today, and the world seemed a restless place.
I was excited for this.
It could have been that way for me. I wish today was
Wiggle! Wow! Wow!
Waggle.
No!
Oh, hello. As you can see, I am in the full spirit of Christmas. The tree, the fire, the decorations, the snow! And I'm here to look at 10 games you should play over the Christmas season. Whether it be based on nostalgia or atmosphere, there are plenty of games to get through, so let's...
Mewtwo! Caliburn!
Never hugged a sword before, and now I see why. Ow!
Well, that's certainly better than a fist bump. Shut up. What the hell happened to you?
Well, Sonic Mania and Roger, and then Splatterhouse, Sonic Forces, Nautilus. You were there at the fist part of the week, showed what we could do. And I traveled into Harry Potter, and Shadow the Hedgehog was there for some reason. And I came back, and you're here, and now it's Cowboy Bebop, we're all good.
Yes, actually, that's a good point. Where is Roger? Don't worry, I got it.
Did you just... That?
Yes.
That is an invasion of privacy.
Well, it's a real shame. Outside of the fact he knocked you out and dragged you away to a villain guy, he was alright. It's a shame you haven't got a memento or anything.
Yeah. Although saying that... At the very least, I get to spend Christmas with you guys.
You do know it's April, right?
Then why is the Christmas tree still up?
We know how much you like Christmas.
You know how much I do, but I bloody missed it.
We thought it'd be a nice thing.
Oh, well done, because it's probably dead now anyway.
So what happens now?
Well, I guess I gotta start making more videos, haven't I?
Does this mean we're starting a new season? Yeah, ask the guy who took 4 months to do a Christmas special.
Don't you start.